Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Crossroads Podcast. You know me. I'm your host, LeRon Dawkins. And back with us tonight is that wonderful man we call Stoy. What's up, dude?
I'm first.
You're first.
I'm never first.
Yeah, you're first.
I'm only first when it's just you and me, of course. You know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no offense to our other co-host Andre here, but you've got seniority now.
Listen, Stoy. You used to be first, okay? You used to be first. All right.
Listen. You newbie, you coming in here thinking you run this town? You don't. You don't. You don't.
That makes you feeling better. You're first in my heart. So.
Oh, thank you.
No, you were rude.
LeRon's
You were rude. You were rude. So you were rude.
All right, and
I got
of
this.
course,
I wanted to show this off. I got
Mega Man tumbler, a Mega Man
Fuel one. Oh, that's
the
cool.
G Fuel one. Yeah,
that's cool.
That's freaking cool.
For those out there in listener land, sorry you can't see it, but I'm showing it in the chat. Go to Exodus 803 on YouTube and see for yourself. But yeah, this is it's a blue slushy flavor. It's actually pretty good. Like G Fuel makes some pretty good tasting stuff.
Okay, cool.
I have their Sonic Peach Ring and their Sour Phaseberry.
Okay.
Well, let me introduce you first, Andre, because then I have something to talk to you about. So,
Okay.
So, welcoming back to the show, of course, the new co-host, the new third chair, Mr. Andre Wilson. What's up, dude?
Hello. We were on a week break. Good to be back. Yeah. Refreshed. Just glad to be here as always.
Cool, of course. Glad to have you. Now we got all the preliminaries out the way. Dude, I cannot find this Bubblicious freaking energy
Oh,
drink
the
anywhere.
ghost one?
Yeah, I can't find it.
Let me tell you.
I went to Vitamin Shop like 2 days after.
Yeah.
After you told me about it.
Yep.
2 days after, and they're like, "Oh, we can't keep it."
Some context for the people here. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so I was lurking on Andre's Instagram, and I saw a reel where it was talking about his day, and his day was looking pretty chill. He had a sketch pad, like he had.
Andre, what's your Instagram?
I actually don't know. I changed it a while ago to match my Twitter. So now my Twitter and Instagram, Andre_Wilson, ANNANNDRE_WIL.
I got you.
Wait, what happened to the Jedi Master Binks? What happened to that?
So I figured because I couldn't get that on Twitter, but I could get that on Instagram, and I'm like, well, I don't want to just juggle a lot of things.
I know exactly what you mean.
So I figured if I had both as that, and then my YouTube was just my name. So, but anyway, for context, what LeRon is talking about, it's this.
Okay, orange cream. Yeah, you got Bubblicious. Okay.
It's that. So it's basically Ghost is a supplement brand. And it's very big in the States. And the energy drinks, I think, just got to Canada. And they have a strawberry Bubblicious flavor. And LeRon, when I tell you that this is good, it is really, really good.
Dude,
really, really good.
I almost went on a journey to Mecca trying to look for this stuff.
Have you checked a GNC by your place?
Okay, so there's a Vitamin Shop and there's a GNC right across the street from the Vitamin Shop. But the Vitamin Shop is outside the mall. The GNC is inside the mall. Mm. Fucking malls don't open until 11 o'clock now. I do not understand. Why?
Uh-oh.
I'm not gonna do this. This is the whole COVID rant all over again. In this day and age, I should actually be happy that the consumer market that we have is not so much money hungry anymore. It's not all capitalistic and stuff like that.
Whoa, hang on. What are you saying?
Okay, I used to work for the mall. I used to work at as a matter of fact, I used to work at that mall, and that mall was notorious for being open. Sometime normal time frame was 10 o'clock, then the mall had to be open, and usually the mall is open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. But during the holidays, that bitch could be open as early as 8 o'clock and don't close till 11 and stuff like that. So I'm used to that mall having set hours and stuff, and I forgot that COVID was a thing. I thought though after the first year,
the world.
Yeah, well, I thought after the first year, when a lot of the governors are like, we're restricting, we're loosening up the stay at home orders and stuff like that. A lot of the stores and retail chains and stuff went back to normal working hours, which is funny because Walmart hasn't gone back to 24 hours yet. It's kind of funny, but I don't shop at Walmart that much anyway. So
I was gonna say you sound very upset about that Walmart.
no, I'm not. Actually, I'm not upset. I'm not upset because I don't get caught out in the streets past 1 a.m. So it's not a big deal for me.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I don't need. I don't need that random run for peanut butter and jelly at 3 in the morning.
No. I remember. I do remember at one point. I think. I now that you bring up Walmart at 3 a.m. I was hanging out with some friends when we were in high school, and it was 3 a.m. and we wanted to buy the new Ice Cube album.
Oh my goodness!
You mean the censored Ice Cube album?
Yeah, I think it was. It was he did a 2-part album. It was War and Peace.
Oh yeah, War and Peace. That was a great album.
And it was War that was out, and it was man, we should really go get that CD. We should go get it tomorrow. And my buddy's man, Walmart's open right now. We can go right now and get it. And it's 3 a.m. So sure enough, we went to Walmart at 3 a.m. Picked up the CD. It was pretty cool.
That's hilarious.
That was before Walmart. Walmart had a thing where they would sell the edited versions of CDs. So that was before those times.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I will take your word for it because I feel like they've always sold the edited versions.
No, there was a time where they didn't.
Yeah. So anyway, so I go to the vitamin shop and the guy tells me, he's like, we can't keep this on the shelf. He's like, check GNC or check. And there's 2 of them nearby me. There's one at the mall.
Hold
and
on.
There's one.
Why can't they keep it on the shelf?
People just run in and buy them. So I was part of the food chain apparently.
You were part of the people running in and buying.
Yeah, I'm almost about to just Amazon this shit and just have 4 cases of it in my garage. For, but
I thought you were saying they couldn't keep it on the shelf because they were so heavy and the shelf would always break.
Oh no! It was more a situation where
taking that statement literally.
Because they usually put a small amount in the refrigerator, so you can buy in singles and stuff like that. So I was going to buy a single because I'm I trust you, Andre, but I don't trust you yet to buy a whole case of it just yet.
No, that's completely fair. That's good. Yeah, that's completely fair. And so kind of the same situation. The this they're called unexotic snack shops. So basically in Canada, there's I think I've only seen 4 of them now, and they're just small hole in the wall places that sell exotic food. So they'll have green tea flavored Lays and
that does not sound attractive. That does not sound appetizing.
Well, they'll have foods from all over the world. So they'll have dark chocolate mint flavored chips and jalapeno flavored chocolates, just really exotic things. I don't know why, but that's there. Anyway, when they put on their story that they got the Ghost Bubblicious in, and I've kind of built up a relationship with the store, and I actually took those pictures for the store. Anyway,
okay.
I messaged them and I was like, yo, when do those go on sale? And he's like, well, we can't put them in the public yet, but if you want one, I can try and do something. And I was at the gym, and I was like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So I dipped from the gym, and then I went down there, and he said, yeah, same thing. He's like, we can't put them on the store yet because they just go. And I was like, well, just let me know when they do, and I will be part of that chain that comes and just takes them. So it's weird how is
this their most popular flavor? I feel like
it's gotta be.
I want to say yeah, because when I go in the store, they have all the flavors now. They have blue, Sour Patch, blue raspberry, red, citrus, mango, orange cream, and the strawberry one. And then they're all kind of lined up in the fridge. And the strawberry one, you have to open the fridge and reach your arm back there and take the second to last one. So I'm I don't know if it's a hot commodity or if they're just really good.
Man, this is reminding me of the Fuji Pear freaking Celsius drinks. Those things are delicious. Yeah. So anyway,
that means the secondhand market's going to go through the roof now. People are going to be selling this shit on eBay for $40 a can.
I hope not. I hope not.
I hope not either.
I'm gonna check right now.
But LeRon, I hope you do find one because they are good.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'll get lucky. Like I was so like down the dumps. Like I just knew Vitamin Shop was gonna have one. Like I just wanted one can, and the guy was even like, "Hold on, let me go check and see if we have any on the floor." Because I was like, "Well, yeah, if you have any on the floor, I'll buy 2, and then I'll just take them home and throw them in the fridge and get ready." Stuff like that. He was like, "Man, we don't have any of them," and I was like, "Okay, when's your truck coming?"
How much does each can usually cost?
$3.
$3.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. It's not. It's
Not much.
it's about the same. It's cheaper than buying a can of Monster because like I was at a Wawa the other day and a Monster is like $4.30.
Well,
For
you
a
can
Monster energy drink?
Yeah.
You can buy one on eBay for $20.
Do it.
One.
That's why I asked. I'm like,
No
how much
thanks.
do they usually go for?
No thanks.
I mean,
no thanks.
they range. They go from anywhere between like $10.
Wait, are we talking are we talking a case or one can?
One can.
See, you know what? This is too much. This is too much.
People like that just don't deserve happiness.
Nope.
That's like when Canada had like a huge heat wave. It got up to like it was like our hottest summer last year, like almost to the point where you were advised to like stay inside. Like it was dangerously hot out, and people would buy fans and ACs for like, let's say like $500 Canadian and like resell them for like $1,000. And it's just like why do people when like the world goes to shit, they will take what people need and like upsell it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't physically understand
it's advantage and opportunity.
It's a scalper's market. It doesn't matter. Like the moment freaking basketball shoes got to a point where it's a commodity that like people would like lose their minds for and deplete their bank accounts, like that's the lifestyle we live in now.
Trust me, I have 2 pairs of Nike Dunks. I enjoy them, but I will not wake up at like 5 a.m. and run to the store, wait in line, and drop like $600 on a pair of shoes. I'm sorry. If you do, all the power to you, but I can't physically do that to myself.
So I don't know if you guys know about the Black Friday thing. I don't know if it's by you guys, but over here, every Black Friday, for you non-American people, that is the day after Thanksgiving, where people get in lines at breweries at like 4:00 in the morning to get exclusive access beer. Breweries, yeah.
Okay.
To get exclusive access beer that they can only buy that day, and it's usually some sort of like whiskey or bourbon stout or whatever. It's always the same, but yeah, it's like I remember doing that. The last time I did that, I looked around and I was like, look at all these dumbass white people like sitting out here like 2:00 in the morning, camping out just for beer. And I was
have you had the beer though? Have you had the beer?
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Is it good?
I mean, yeah, I mean, yes.
Stoy, be honest. At one point, were you one of those dumbass white people?
Oh, of course, yeah. That's when that was when I was like self-aware of myself. I'm like, I'm looking around.
He sees them, and he's like, "Good Lord, what have I done?"
Yeah, I'm looking around, and I'm like, man, look at all these dumbass white people here. And I look at my arm, and I'm like, wait a minute, I am one of those too.
You're like, wait a minute.
Jesus. So yeah,
that's funny.
All right, so you know what? I'm gonna bring this back, but I'm only gonna bring this back for this is episode 87, so I'm only gonna bring this back for like until we get to episode 90. I'm gonna bring back the housekeeping because like Crossroads lives in a new place now. It's no longer streaming live on Twitch. So like I feel like I need to do all of our listeners and all of our subscribers and all our followers, a solid by letting them know. So. Don't forget that you're checking out the Crossroads podcast, which comes at you every week, bringing you the latest news, rumors, games, and general discussion in the world of PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. Crossroads now lives in a new place, now airing live on Tuesday nights, same night, at youtube.com/Exodus803, normally at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, you can head over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcast locations to get audio versions of the show, which are hosted the following Thursday morning after this show debuts. Video recaps of the show can be found early Thursday mornings at our partner site, youtube.com/BossRush Network, and actually also head over to bossrush.net to see previous versions of our show and all of our episodes, which can be found there on the website as well. If you like the show, please consider subscribing to the podcast and giving us a follow. So like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to the audio versions, please share, rate, and review us wherever you check out the show, and we will love you for it. So, guys, let's go ahead and get this show rolling. It's time to talk about what we've been playing. Stoy, you know what? You go first.
Wow, it's a day of firsts for me.
What you playing, man? What you playing?
So I actually played a lot. I finally beat Tales of Arise, and man, I'm never playing another Tales game again.
Why?
Oh my god!
Why?
The last like 10 hours of that game was such a friggin' drag. Like they
I
decided
thought you were about to say because it's so good.
Yeah, did it just get
No.
slow or something? What happened?
No, because basically what happened is they were like, there was a good tick of like story content going or whatever, you know, like, hey, we got this calamity that's going to destroy the world, this and that, whatever. And then they decide, holy crap, there's still a lot of unfinished story we haven't told you. So we're going to cram it all in the last 5 hours of the game. So the last 5 hours of the game was like 80% conversation, 80% cutscenes. Like literally, it was like Metal Gear Solid 4. You remember those days where like
you
would take like 4 steps and then all of a sudden 10-minute cutscene, and then you take another 4 steps and it's like another 10-minute cutscene. I was getting flashbacks from those days.
You know what? I hate to say it, but Metal Gear Solid 4 is kind of what ended my career of Metal Gear Solid.
It ended a lot of people's career.
It ended my career. I played Ground Zeroes, but I never played Phantom Pain.
I mean, Phantom Pain was okay. Yeah, it was okay. But I mean, Stoy, are you talking about like when at the end of 4 when like Snake would fight Liquid and they like fight and then stop and be like, and then be a cutscene and then they like, and then a cutscene and then a cutscene.
Yeah.
I'm
like, kill him!
I remember that. And that really like killed my drive to play another Metal Gear game.
I think for me, what it really hit was I think when Snake went to Europe or something like that, and it was like there was like a really cool like motorcycle chase scene, and it was like there was no other gameplay beyond that except him maybe walking around town while disguised, and then like the rest of it was all cutscenes. I was like, you brought me to this really cool location, and I literally did nothing. Like, okay.
Yeah, that was like in Final Fantasy 15 when you reach a certain point in the game, it's like you can't go back, and it's just like gameplay, cutscene, gameplay, cutscene, gameplay, cutscene, gameplay, cutscene, end game, and I'm like, what the what? I was like, where did the game just go?
So that was literally like the last like 5 hours of it. It was like either that or just like really pointless grinding. Like they just started like shoving these like really high powered enemies at you, and you're just like, God damn, like. I had slapped it on easy mode about halfway through the game because I was like, I'm just going to get this over with. Like, I just want to get going. So I was like, you know, the battles weren't necessarily that hard, but they started taking longer. And that was part of the problem, too. It's like, I just want to beat this freaking game. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, I mean, fine. It was good. But I also played F1 2022. Solid racing game. Really good simulation modes. I really like how they set up their careers because they set up the careers kind of like real life. Like, you know, F1 weekends, like in real life, their racing weekends set up for practices. You qualify for a place on the grid. And if you get the fastest time, then obviously you start first. Or, you know, if you don't get the fastest time, you start further down the grid.
I have a question for you, Stoy. Is pole position like first? Is that
pole
position.
Pole position first.
Okay. Because I kept hearing that term, and I assumed after a while it just meant that you were first, basically.
Yeah. So if you qualified for pole, then that means you qualified for first.
Okay.
So but I really like because sometimes like practice is meant to like really get to know the courses, really get to know the tracks, the turns. You know, you have the rewind feature, so you can actually like, you know, I didn't do that turn that well, so like, you know. But they also kind of give you these little objectives that gives you points that, you know, they give you like research points to like research like upgrades to your cars. And you can actually pick which team you want to be on. So if you want to be on Mercedes, you want to be on
Oh, that's
Ferrari.
cool.
Yeah. So I chose Haas because Haas is an American race team.
Haas. I feel so bad for Haas all the time.
Hey, this year they're doing well. They're doing well this year.
Thank God, because so far in F1 Drive to Survive, the first season, I'm just like, look, guys. Like, I just watched the episode where it talked about Romain Grosjean and how he just can't get out of his funk, and he's just like,
oh my God, wait till you watch the rest of the few seasons, man. It gets worse.
he'll either crash, no points, or he just can't race, and I'm like, look, man, just throw in the towel. But he's like, he can't do it, but he doesn't want to stop, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad for the Haas team.
Yeah, no, it gets worse. That was kind of one of the, Gunther, the team principal, where he's like, "We look like a bunch of fucking wankers out there."
I love that guy. He's so.
Oh yeah, he's so good. But yeah, so they give you objectives like, hey, we really want to test the durability of the tires. So we really want to test the ability of your fuel consumption. So, they'll give you like certain objectives on how to do things and whatever. So it's really cool that you're actually practicing to achieve an objective while also trying to learn the track. So it makes it kind of like worth it. You could skip all that and go to qualification if you want. And, just go race right away if you want, or you could do single player, whatever. That's fine too. But I like those like weekend structures, and they actually follow what the actual season is. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But I always like, I told people that if you want to get into a racing simulator game, like, but you think like maybe like there's too much involved, F1 is probably the easiest racing simulation game you can get because those cars are so easy and so clutch to handle that you don't have to worry about like losing control or drifting, because those cars have, like Andrew, what we were talking about, those cars have so much downforce and they're so stuck to the ground that they turn on a dime. And there's like there's no drift. There's no like losing control unless you go off track.
Yeah.
But you feather the brakes going into, and the brakes are like awesome on these cars. You could feather the brakes before a turn. Right, you hit the apex of that turn, you just like gun it, and you don't even lose control at all. No spin, nothing. You time it right. I mean, you feel like a professional. So
yeah, like one thing that kind of blew me away from watching that show was like when they're going and they have like the cam of the driver, when they just like turn and they just do like this, it doesn't seem like much, but then you look at the car and the car like turns on a dime, and I'm like, imagine if they just like threw the steering wheel to like the left. Like, it's crazy how just like a small like bit, it just makes the car turn so fast. So I can see how that would correlate with the game.
Yeah, no, it's really crazy. And I don't know why it is, but I started noticing this and come out some of my longer practice sessions is that when I'm holding the controller, right, and I turn left and I just push it with my left. But when I turn right, when I turn right, I just kind of push it with my left thumb. When I turn right, I almost do a hook maneuver with my thumb and I kind of pull it toward me, and I start to get sore. So like if there's a track with a lot of left turns, my thumb is starting to get sore because I'm kind of doing this hook maneuver for some reason with that joystick, and I'm like kind of like pulling it and really ratcheting it, as opposed to just I'm turning right and I'm just doing a push. Like it's weird why I do that. I don't know if that's maybe just the mechanics of how the controller is, or if anybody else has experienced it before. But yeah, if a track has a lot of left turns, I know my I know my thumb's gonna be sore. But guys, let me tell you, House Flipper for the Xbox.
Oh,
there's nothing. There's not. It's such a relaxing game.
If I didn't know you better, I would swear you're trolling me every week when I do the "What are we playing?" write-ups for the weekend.
I told you I'd be getting this game, and I stayed true to it. I mean, it's a Game Pass game, so it was an easy sell for me. But I would have paid money for this. I literally would have paid money for this. Like if they, and I maybe would have, right out the gate, because, you start out, you go into this house that you live in and it's like a dumpy house, whatever. You want to try to make it in the real estate business. You want to kind of help clean up people's houses.
Hold on. Is this a real estate simulation?
Pretty much.
No, it's kind of like a house flipper simulation, but you don't get to the real estate stuff until later once you establish a business. So like you first start out the game like maybe just cleaning people's houses, doing some renovating, some painting, like installing certain things. Like say for example, one of my favorite missions so far, I call them missions, but you get an email from a guy to say like, hey, I own this like 4-bedroom house and I had these college kids staying in it and I had to evict them. And it was the place was such a mess that every room, like you have to kind of like, sweep the room for all the garbage. Walls are dirty, floors are dirty. So you got to kind of do this weird sweeping mechanic. You pick up trash. There's trash bags all over the place. There's beer cans and wine bottles all over the place. So you're picking all that shit up. Newspapers all over the floor.
What college kids? Who drinks wine from a bottle? That's so
bro. Wine bottles all over the place. I think this is a French developer, so maybe that makes sense.
Who's just sitting there with a wine bottle, being like, "Let's get lit, like,
let's get lit. Grab me the Merlot, bro.
Grab me the Merlot, dude."
College students are doing nothing but buying box wine. You know that.
Sorry, but that's box wine is even worse.
Yeah, right. Bro, hand me the Chardonnay. Come on, man. Open that shit up.
Bro, throw me the bottle. Like,
well, Stoy, when you're ready to take this to the next level, there are expansions.
For House Flipper?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You've got HGTV House Flipper. Ooh. You have House Flipper Garden DLC. You've got House Flipper Luxury, House Flipper Pets. Oh, and House Flipper Apocalypse Edition.
Apocalypse Edition?
Expand your House Flipper nuclear safety options with the Apocalypse Flipper DLC pack.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is all on Steam right now, so I wonder if this is all going to be coming to
Game Pass?
Yeah, I wonder if it's all coming to... Well, it's probably not coming to Game Pass. Like, you'd probably have to buy it, but...
Oh, yeah, you probably have to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look that up because I'm in. So, but anyway, yeah, like, so there's other missions where, like, and I can tell this is European because every room has a radiator in it, for heat. So like these.
Now, how do you know that? How do you know that? Maybe these are just low rent houses that you're in.
I mean, maybe, sure, but yeah, all these college kids stole every radiator from every room. So I had to install like 5 radiators in this house. It was funny.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the same thing. Like you buy the parts and they pay you. So like they say like, hey, this is what we're gonna pay you for the work. So obviously, what you buy versus what you get paid, you get the profit as a result of it, and then that goes into your bank, which then you can start saving up money to buy your own houses that you flip. That's where the flipping comes in.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, you go on like this website, this realtor website, whatever, then you could say like, hey, I want to buy this for $70,000 or whatever. And then, yeah, you go in to kind of flip the house with however you want. And obviously the fancier stuff you put in, the fancier you make the floor plans and everything, like the more it'll sell. And then obviously the more money that goes in your pocket while you're picking up side jobs. So what I've been doing is basically like, I want to have a chill night. I don't want to do anything too complicated. I'm going to have a chill night. I throw up Spotify on my Xbox, put on the lo-fi beats playlist, and man, I'm just vibing that whole night.
And just start wrecking the house.
Yeah, just like I put on some lo-fi beats, demolish a wall, lo-fi beats, painting a wall, lo-fi beats, installing a sink, I mean...
What more could you ask for, right?
Stoy's living the middle-aged man's dream right now.
Yeah. Hey, man, guys at our age, man, we live for this stuff, Yeah. We're done with the Call of Duties and the FIFAs, man. Give me House Flipper.
Man, if you told my 27-year-old self that I was going to get all hot and bothered seeing a vacuum cleaner,
bro, you could vacuum clean cockroaches in this game.
I can just see it now. Stoy's playing. He gets a text. Hey, so what you doing? Painting the walls. Then I'm going to be installing a radiator, and then I'm going to be cleaning the floors. Homie, it's like 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, it's the best time though. Like
best time though. Yeah.
I just see now.
Lights down low, putting on some, some sick beats and just. Yeah.
Are you wearing like a silk robe too, or?
I should honestly. I should start getting candles in my room.
You should probably just full send this and just go into like a silk robe.
Yeah,
he's in the freaking flannel jammies.
Silk robe and a cigar.
I was gonna say I got to install some more radiators to be able to afford silk pajamas. But that's really what I've been playing. I played more Phobia.
Mm-hmm.
Phasmo.
I also Saint Difna.
Phobia. Saint Difna.
That one. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. And I also popped in Metro Exodus. I wanted to play that. I've never played that.
Great game.
Yeah, really good.
Are you playing the first one?
No, Exodus. That's because I beat the first two. I never beat Exodus.
Oh, the third one.
The third one, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that.
I personally enjoyed the second one.
I really like the second one too. The third one is like.
Third one's different. Third one's very different.
Because it's kind of like open world. Like
like you leave the underground and you're outside and it's like okay, but there was a eerie feeling about the second one, just going through the tunnels by yourself and just like it was cool. I really enjoyed it, especially like the ending was weird but good.
Mm-hmm. No, there was a episode in the third one, or do you mind me spoiling it?
No, go ahead. Go for it.
There was like a point where like you've escaped the metro, you're out in the open land, which everyone was like, we thought Russia was destroyed, like, and now to find out you can actually walk outside without a mask. And so you go to this place that's supposed to be where the provincial government is. Like, this is where the government was supposed to take base. Yep. So you go there and you find out everyone there is a freaking cannibal.
Oh shit, no way.
So they're like, they capture you. They're like, we're going to eat you. We're going to eat that little bones. We're going to get you. We're going to cut this arm off. And
Is that the place in the desert?
No, that's right before the desert.
Okay, then I was past that then.
Okay, yeah. So you probably know what I'm talking about. That
literally, I do.
Every enemy in this stage is running at you like a zombie. Like, it's like zombies are like braids, like.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like one scene right at the end where you like jump on the train to escape, and there's like a swarm of these guys chasing after you. So I was like, you throw a Molotov cocktail at them. So I threw them, set fire to like maybe like 15 of them or something like that. Ended up getting achievement for killing 90 cannibals.
Oof,
that was an actual achievement.
Oh my god!
Throughout the whole level. So yeah, pretty neat.
That's crazy.
That's all I've been playing.
All right, Andre, what you crack into?
So Friday, I don't know if you guys got it, but did you hear about the giant Rogers thing that happened with like? No, was that only a Canada thing? Okay, so basically Rogers, I guess like a satellite or something, like shut down. Basically everything that had to do with Rogers on last Friday shit the bed. So I woke up with no phone service. Okay, so my Friday morning was I woke up, no phone service, and I was like, weird. I was like, all right.
God, that must have been the quietest day on earth for you.
Dude, homie, let me tell you, at work, not having the wife text me was really nice. Really nice. Anyway, so I woke up Friday.
Peace and quiet.
So nice. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I woke up Friday, no phone service, and I was like, all right. I was like, this is odd. So then I had maybe like less than a quarter of a tank of gas left. So I could get to work, but I couldn't get home from work. And I was like, no problem. I'll get gas in the morning. I go to the gas station, and there was like a long lineup, and I'm like, it's first thing in the morning. Everyone's probably getting gas. It's payday.
Everybody's acting like it's the apocalypse. That's what
exactly right. But yeah, I didn't know that it was like a huge thing. So I go in the store, and there's a long lineup, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So the guy at the till goes, cash only. The debit machines are down, and I was like, that's fucking weird. So then I go back to the till, and I do my transaction. And it said that my card got declined. And now I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? I was like, what is happening? So, long story short, I guess something happened with Rogers, and worldwide, the network was down. So, Shaw, Rogers, and Fido, if you had anything to do with their internet, their cable, or their phone service, it didn't work. So that means every gas station or like even shit in the mall, if your debit machine or your store was basically on one of those 3 networks, it wouldn't work. So apparently like half the mall was down, half the gas stations around me were like off the grid, and I was like, what the fuck's happening right now? So I didn't get phone service until like the next day. It was great. It was crazy. Like I got home and I walked in the door and I felt like I haven't seen my family in weeks. I was like, this is so weird. Like I haven't talked to you guys in like forever. So I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't play my PC. I couldn't do anything. And I'm like, this is fucking weird.
That is the worst.
Dude,
okay,
it
I was
was
gonna say, yeah, this must have been a Canada thing because I heard nothing about this.
Yeah.
Really, that's so odd. That's so odd. So yeah, so that day I actually went with a friend and we went to a local waterfall near where I live. It's basically like a half an hour drive and then a 40-minute walk, and it's this beautiful waterfall that comes down into like this little pond, then kind of like goes into the river. So we went and took some pictures there. We maybe spent like half an hour there, 40-minute walk in and out. But like the same thing, like I couldn't talk to friends, I couldn't talk to my family. So it was a very quiet day for sure, but it was so weird. Like
I bet it got frustrating after a while.
It did. Like at work, I was like, okay, cool, phone's off, I can just concentrate at work. But then I got home and I came upstairs and I changed, shower, and I was like, what the fuck do I do with my day? I was like, as bad as it sounds, I'm like, what do I do, right? And so then it was a beautiful day out. I'm like, I want to do something, and I'm not gonna let the fact that my phone and computer not work stop me from going out. But the shitty thing was I couldn't contact my family, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be here. I would let you know where I am, but I can't. So, but I'm just gonna go take some pictures. So that was my Friday. So Friday was just chalked. Friday was off the grid. Saturday, everything worked again. And LeRon, I messaged you about Monster Hunter. They had a Monster Hunter World Sunbreak demo, so I downloaded that. Okay. And when I asked you if I should play on controller, I tried on keyboard. It takes a special person to play Monster Hunter keyboard.
That's true, but I've heard a lot of people, because I could not keyboard mouse. Like I've been playing Monster Hunter since 2004 when it was an unknown game. I can't keyboard and mouse.
And it was very like, at some point I had to hold down the scroll button and then push a couple keys to like launch, and I was like, hold on. It was a fun game. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna buy a controller first and then get it. So, but that is gonna happen. But I'm
you still have a PS4 controller?
No, I don't.
Oh, I was going to say, or do you have an Xbox controller?
No, but I think
you're in bad shape.
I know. Like I was gonna buy it, and then I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, do I have any controllers? So I scrounged around my house, and I was like, shit, I don't have any. So I'm not gonna buy it, and then not be able to play it for a while. So I'm gonna buy a used controller for like $30, then buy the game. So
this is when you walk to your buddy's house and be like, hey, can I borrow your controller, and never give it back.
Hey, can I borrow it? A year later, what controller? I don't know what you're talking about. You have it still. So
other than that, it's that one right there. No, it's not. This is my controller.
Yeah, it's my controller now. Other than that, Chrono Cross I bought for the Switch. It's been fun. It's been fun to play the game again. It's also been really interesting to play it now, because when I first played it as a young boy, I didn't know half the mechanics and I didn't really care about the story. I was just like, yeah, fun game, woohoo, fantasy. But now that I'm a lot older, there's a lot of mechanics about the game that I didn't understand, like Stoy, and I don't know if you ever played it, LeRon.
I tried to play it. I didn't appreciate it back then.
Okay, so same thing. So you know how the whole element system works, like the top.
I remember left? That. I remember that.
I didn't quite understand how it worked then, but now it's very interesting how you kind of have to keep your element on the field, and if you don't, you can kind of lose the tide of the battle. And then in your grid, if anyone has played the game, you know what I'm talking about. The way you position your elements in the grid actually matters. So yes. Yeah, and I learned that literally last night because I googled. I'm like, how to effectively use elements in Chrono Cross, and I ended up reading this I ended up staying past my bedtime because I usually get into bed around like 10. I stayed up until like 10:30 reading this giant document because I'm like, I didn't know that if you strategically place them in a certain order, they do more damage. And I'm like, I didn't fucking know this. I was like, what the hell? So I turned on the game and I actually rearranged all my stuff and I went into a fight and I was like, holy shit, this is so much better. So I did a bit more research and I'm just kind of just rearranging things, but it's a lot more fun now because I get the game more. So I've been playing that a bit more. Other than that, a little bit of Destiny here and there. Not as much because it's just kind of boring. But I am, once I get a controller from my friend and buy the game,
There you go.
I'm going to be heavily into Monster Hunter. So I am looking forward to playing that for sure. And once I do, I'd love to play with you and just kind of just get the ropes for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, when I experienced that admittedly late when I first played it, I remember, because I remember kind of being dumbfounded to say, like, you know, like, why does it matter? Because, like, why are there certain, like, when you scroll through, like, you know, the columns,
Yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
yeah, like,
same thing. I'm like,
why is that a big deal? Why is
yeah,
this
and
thing?
then I started to notice, for example, like Arrow Saucer and -1, and then Fireball +2. I'm like, why did they say +2?
Yeah.
And then I'd switch them, and one would be +3, and one would just be Fireball. And I was like, hold on, that should mean something. And I googled it, and I was like, oh my god, there's actually a way to do this. I was like, holy shit, this changes everything. So yeah, so that was a cool concept to now migrate into my game, and now I'm just kind of like rearranging things, and now my team is a lot stronger just from simply moving two things, and I'm like, this is cool. So there's that aspect, and just having my Switch, just playing my Switch, and I think it's from talking with you guys and the other and the boss brush, playing my Switch again just feels so fun again because this goes back to the whole not being at my workstation and being away from it. I'm appreciating a lot more things now.
Very cool.
Cool. Anything so that's about it. I mean, you had an adventure on Friday. I mean,
my Friday was so out the window. I was like,
it didn't even, it's funny, it didn't even make the news over here. I didn't
really
hear anything about
that.
It
Is
didn't make
so.
And you guys, you guys literally were in a blackout phase. I didn't hear anything about it, and I mean, like I have like my Twitter and social media open all the time, so I feel like I should have seen something about that. But nope, didn't see a thing. Shows you how much it just shows. It just shows because like you guys up in Canada care a lot about our stuff, and like we don't even give you guys like 1/10 of the care you put out.
Right. But like to play devil's advocate, like it was honestly really like quiet to not have phones, and like it was like you said, for like it sucked, it did, but like when I was at work, not having my phone blow up, not from like just people, but just in general, like notifications and like everything, and just the noise of socials and phones, not having that was honestly so nice, actually.
No, I mean, when I was in between jobs from GameStop, the job I have now, like ultimately, like I didn't have enough money to afford like everything I needed, so unfortunately, cell phone was like the very last thing I got rid of. And I will tell you this: it felt weird in the beginning, but then I began to enjoy the fact that I just couldn't be reached. Like I couldn't, like I was no longer, like a phone call away for certain people and stuff like that. And God,
yeah, like I deactivated my Facebook months ago, and that was like so like super rewarding. It was so nice. It was so nice.
Living off the grid, man. Like, so of course when I got this job, the first thing my employer was like is we gotta get you a phone. And I was like, do we? Do we really?
Do you want me to have a phone, or do I need a phone?
Yeah. All right, so for me, the only thing I've been playing for the last 2 weeks is Monster Hunter. But then again, it really didn't change from what I was playing previously before that.
I told myself that I'm not going to make fun of you for it.
Thank you. You're a scholar and a gentleman.
But let me tell you, you're making it really freaking hard. So I'm just gonna be quiet the rest of the time.
Well, it makes you feel better. Like I'm at what's considered like the end game for the new content, which basically means I'm about to beat the expansion.
Did that like just come out?
It did, but okay. So like main story portion of Monster Hunter, it doesn't take that long to get through. To be honest with you, it's more about the stuff in the add-on content they do, which there's going to be the next 5 months worth of DLC drops for new content and stuff. So yeah, that's what we're looking at there. So as soon as I get through doing what I'm doing, because I'll probably going into the weekend, I'll probably have it beat, because like we're now in that section of the week where like it's all podcasts for me. I was on Nintendo Power Block last night, by the way, guys. That was pretty fun.
Oh wow,
that was pretty fun. But yeah, so the game is fun. I will say that. I'm enjoying every bit of the money I spent, for this game. But I always enjoy Monster Hunter games. That was Monster Hunter for the Wii. I didn't enjoy that one. But I gotta say, like, for all the Monster Hunter games I played, like, they paid a lot of attention to detail when it came to story this time, because Monster Hunter games were not always known for their story. As a matter of fact, story didn't become a real element in Monster Hunter games until like Monster Hunter 4, and that was technically only 2 generations ago, because Monster Hunter World is the previous generation. Like that's Generation 5, and we're in Generation 5 right now with Monster Hunter Rise as well. The story is fantastic. Like the way they put it, and honestly, the way they laid the game out, like it feels like it's an adventure game. For the most part, it feels it's almost like we went back to the action RPG roots of the game. But it's fun. It's a blast. I'm not really gonna say a lot, because I feel like every week on this podcast I'm always saying something Monster Hunter related. So yeah. So next week I will talk about something that's not Monster Hunter in my What Are We Playing segment.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Come on.
Don't put that on me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Monster Hunter movie?
The one with Mila Jovovich?
Yeah.
Damn right I did.
Did you enjoy it?
No, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay, that's I saw it. I fairly enjoyed it, but I did hear that it got a lot of hate, and I don't.
It got a lot of hate. It got a lot of hate from Monster Hunter fans, and I don't understand why it got a lot of hate, because in all honesty, like everything they did basically worked. Yeah, there was some stuff that's fantastical and stuff like that, but you gotta think about something here. Like they translated a movie where like your guy can literally jump off a mountain and not take any red life damage, not at all. Like you don't get hurt. You jump off a cliff. You land on the ground. And sometimes he just lands with that hard thud. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he rolls and stuff like that, but he takes no damage and stuff like that. So, I mean, people who are getting upset about some of the things they saw in the Monster Hunter movie must not remember the source material, because the only thing that really hurts you in the game are the monsters.
That's fair. Who was the monster at the end?
Gormagala.
That's who it was.
Yep.
Now that I'm talking
Stoy, what are you laughing at?
Nope. I said I'm not going to do it.
What? No. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
No, your rant about like, blah, these guys don't know the source material because
it's the glasses.
Really, these guys must not be Monster Hunter fans when they're watching
glasses thing that kills me.
There's no fall damage on this. On the characters, the only damage you can take is from the monsters.
I asked for it.
I said you did this. You wanted to know what I was thinking.
Monster Hunter is a good movie. Monster Hunter is a better movie than Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I will say that now, and that will be the hill I die on.
I can't. I can't say one way or another. I didn't see the Monster Hunter movie, but I could probably believe
you saw the Resident Evil movie, man.
Yeah. I could probably believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like the game is just good. In my opinion, like I'm enjoying it. And, if you're a Monster Hunter fan, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Unless you're one of those purists that think that the world for Monster Hunter begins and ends with Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, which that is still my favorite game in the series. But Rise and Sunbreak does a damn good job of keeping me entertained. All right, guys, we spent enough time in all the pre-show stuff. So let's go ahead and move on. But real quick,
I thought this was the show.
This is a show. Well,
just three dudes just talking about video games. That's the
yeah.
show.
I mean, yeah, it's the show.
The show has begun.
I feel like the meat and potatoes of the show doesn't come until we start talking about the news, though. That's why I said pre-show.
You know what? I mean, you got the meat and the potatoes right here.
Okay. Oh. You know what?
What do you got, LeRon?
I need more. What I need is more female viewers for the show because that would have actually gotten us like some super chats.
Okay. Maybe I do need to start wearing a sleeveless shirt too, kind of like you.
Hey, Andre's been sleeveless day one.
That is true, yeah.
I mean, this is only your second show, Andre, but you're rocking.
I think I just have to stay sleeveless now. I came in sleeveless. I have to stay sleeveless.
That's kind of how it goes. Like the very first episode of Crossroads, I was wearing a tank top, and then like immediately, like a couple episodes later, I was wearing a regular shirt. Everyone was like, "Where's the tank tops at?"
Yeah, and that all of a sudden became a thing, I guess.
And I'm like, I don't have enough tank tops. Like you will see literally every tank top I have by the time we get to episode 10. All right.
That's
so
fine.
Yeah. By the way, for everyone who's listening, like we have a weekly write-up for what we were playing. That usually happens on the weekends and stuff like that. And it's usually a preview for what we talk about during the week because there's always new games that get added and stuff like that. But head over to bossrush.net and check out the Crossroads Weekend Gaming What Are We Playing articles every week. And maybe you can tell us about the next game that you're playing. Okay, guys. Have you seen the list of games that are coming out this week?
A whole lot of nothing.
It's a whole lot of nothing, but it's a whole lot. Jeez, I mean,
it's a big list. It's a big list of nothing.
Well, first of all, we hope that you like PC games because, excuse me, because this week's releases are practically all about PC, thanks to last month's PC gaming event during Summer Games Fest. And also, if you're a big fan of platformers, like there you go. This week is for you.
Yeah, like I was taking a look at the Crossroads rundown that you sent, and I'm like PC, Xbox, platform. I was like, whoa, Jesus!
This list right here, yeah. This is curated. Like if you actually go to the actual like article on the website, there's more games. There's more games. I only cherry picked what I thought was going to be good for listeners. Which, by the way, here are the new games coming to PlayStation, PC, and Xbox this week. Given the week of the 11th of July to September. September. Jeez.
I was gonna say, whoa!
All these releases. Ahead are you going?
All these releases might as well be into September, but from the 11th. Excuse me, from the 11th to the 17th of July. So. Let's get cracking. Hold on. I'm going to mute this mic because I got to cough one more time.
July 11th, we have Neon Blight for PC adventure game. July 12th, we have the action RPG Hellpoint for the PS5. We have Crut the Mythic Wings platformer, PS5 and PS4. Also on PC and Xbox. So that's basically the whole entire plate. Number 3, coming in with a medieval shooter. That's something I never thought I'd say. Century Age of Ashes for the Xbox One.
Real quick sidebar. If you were watching Summer Game Fest, you know what this game is. It's the game where you're riding on a freaking dragon, shooting everything, and whipping and zipping all over the place. That's that game.
Medieval shooter. That's something I thought I'd never say.
It's actually a shooter genre because it's an on-rail shooter, but it's medieval. If we said on-rail shooter, though, people would start thinking it's Time Crisis Part 19.
19, basically, yeah. And the 4th game coming out July 12th, we have Zell XEL for the PC. So for July 13th, I'll give it away to LeRon or Stoy.
Man, you were doing such a good job.
Okay, July 13th, number one.
I was going to say, you missed you missed one particular game called The Future You've Been Dreaming Of. It's coming out on July 14th because this game is about taking on the role of a Zakishi Warashi, a housebound spirit that can bring good fortune and peer into Sachi's life. Though she can't see you, you'll see some of her most vulnerable moments and have no choice but to intervene from time to time. But it's all to guide her toward a bright future.
That's on the 14th?
That's on the 14th, yes.
Because we didn't even get to the 13th.
And if you give her an item, depending on the item, her actions may change. You could pick her outfits. You could dress her up into your favorite outfits.
Wait, did I? Wait.
Watch the lovable and vulnerable Sachi from
confused.
right by her side.
What's the name of this game?
The Future You've Been Dreaming Of.
The Future You've Been Dreaming Of.
Yeah, so you're a ghost. You're a ghost dressing up the girl you're haunting. The girl you're haunting, basically.
Oh, this looks like Stephanie's type of game. Oh my god.
Yep.
I am sending this to her after the show wraps.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I was on July 13th. Okay. So we have 5.
I was gonna say, do you want me to read more of the story?
No thanks. No thanks.
We'll just keep
We're
moving.
good.
Okay.
We're good.
On the first, not on the first. The first game, the Tale of Bistun.
I think it's Bistun or Bistun. Yeah.
For PC and Xbox One adventure game. Number 2, we have a puzzle game called Rayland for PS5 and PS4, also on Xbox family. Number 3, RPG Rune Factory 5 coming to PC. Number 4, arcade Super UFO Fighter for the PC. Who the F is going to be fighting in UFOs?
Oh, I saw the video.
My god!
It looks zany. It looks zany.
That sounds like a zany type of game. But hey, if you're up for basically Super Smash Bros. UFOs, game for you. Number 5, we have the RPG.
Actually, it's a roguelite. I'm sorry.
I was going to say.
I was like,
that was a typo.
Okay, the roguelite platformer Loopmancer for the PC. July 14th, we have 5 games. Number 1, coming in hot, platformer Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 PS4. That just sounds badass. So
it is badass.
I mean, it's really Mega Man.
Cool. Okay, then yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
There you go. Number 2, we have CYO.
Oh, choose your own adventure.
Thank you.
Choose your own adventure title.
Choose your own adventure. Not the Mothman 1966 PS4 and PC, also on Xbox One. Sounds really interesting. Sounds like it's a kind of a point and click game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Okay.
It's a walking sim. Our buddies that do the Talk the Walk show will probably love it.
Nice. Okay. Number 3, sci-fi racing. Never thought I'd hear that. Meteora. Yeah, for the PC. Number 4, a simulator, Power Wash Simulator. Stoy.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
If I can tear myself away from, watching the trailer for that game,
you could house flip and then power
wash it.
I don't know. I'd be torn to do which one I want to do more.
Boom! There you go. Stoy's favorite.
Come on,
game.
It's something about waving around a high pressure water wand, just all over the place, all willy nilly.
If you watch the trailer for it, it looks so satisfying. So sasatisfying.
I've actually
that wall used to be dirty. Now it's not anymore.
I've actually seen some Twitch streamers playing it, and I'm not gonna lie, I clicked on them and just sat here for like a couple seconds, and I'm like, you know what, I can get used to this. And the 5th game on July 14th, the platformer Spidersaurus, which sounds like nothing I ever want to see because that would terrify me. For the PS5, PS4, also on PC and Xbox family, so the entire plate.
Actually, it's a cool looking platformer. Actually,
yeah.
It looks like a run and gun type game.
Oh, okay, cool. July 15th, only 4. First one coming hot. Dread Out 2 Xbox family. Survival horror or just survival?
It said survival game, so I'm not sure. Like it's probably a survival horror, but it said survival game, so that's kind of what I roll with it. But I feel like Dread Out 2 is probably like my pick of the week. You know, like if I was going to give a suggestion for people, that and Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. But keep going. Keep going.
Number 2, we have a simulator RPG. Is that correct?
Yep.
Immortal
Simulation RPG.
Yeah, Immortal Tactics: War of the Eternals for the PC, which sounds cool, interesting. Number 3.
yeah, Dreadout 2 is that kind of like it's like Silent Hill meets Fatal Frame.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes.
That sounds crazy then. Because
Yeah.
both those games are terrifying.
Because I remember watching the trailer for this when I recorded earlier with my guys. But yeah, it looks really good.
That sounds like a hitter.
Yeah.
Number 3, Arcade Racing 80s Overdrive, Xbox One. Sounds like a lot of neon and fast cars.
Yep, exactly.
Boom. Number 4, the last one, July 15th, X Sports game, Shred Remastered, Xbox One, which sounds like a snowboarding game.
Yeah. That is not the last one. You guys are missing one game.
Oh God, here we go.
It is called the Ultimate Muscle Roller Championship. Combine wrestling, gym, and cars in this incredible racing championship among the most muscular boys from around the world. Pass all the stages and earn the honorary title of boss of the gym and $300 with your sweat, blood, and other fluids.
So for every Chad that goes to the gym, this is your game.
This is your game. If you like muscular bound boys in spandex and
the game cover
and Mario Kart
alone is hilarious. The game cover alone.
So what's it called?
Ultimate Muscle Roller Championship.
Yep, it's also coming out on PC. It's coming out on PC on the 15th.
Yes. You're just gonna have to watch the trailer because it is bonkers.
What in the am I looking at here? Okay, if my fiance saw this, she'd probably question my. Yeah, she what was what?
It's on your internet history now, boys. It's on your internet history.
It's some dudes in freaking like they're Spanx. There's some dudes in Spanx. One guy's basically wheelbarrowing a freaking
barbell.
A barbell
with weights.
Yeah, and while the other guy's holding his legs and pushing him.
Yeah, and he's like, "Let's go." I'm just quickly gonna go use the washroom. I'll be back.
It's like what in the homoerotic is going on here? But yeah, actually, all these games, like head over to the web link has been provided in the stream chat right now. Head over to bossrush.net and check it out because there's more games. Like I said, I only picked a few because there was over 20 games.
Let me read you. I got to read you the description of this game.
Do it.
Okay. All right. Here are the features of this game. For the first time in history, a unique atmosphere of wrestling comes to race. All your cult characters are back. Choose your favorite and go with him to the end. Many right vehicles. You will be happy with Boy Next Door.
I'm mad they're doing like the jacked up Arnold voice.
Yeah. A variety of locations inspired by the adventures of heroes. Character customization system, thanks to which you can recreate Sergeant Billy Harrington, Santa Claus Van Darkholm, and many other unusual characters. Right version for real men and censored for the faint of heart. Drive music for hot races with the ability to upload your own. And last but not least, control the car with one hand and feel free to do anything.
Oh, God. Well, if you guys are thinking about this game on Steam, don't forget to add to your wish list and follow it. Man.
Oh, boy. Video games are great, aren't they?
You know what? I'll watch somebody let's play. If they can do it with all the dignity in the world, I will watch it.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Please remember, all release dates are subject to change, so as I've said previously, don't at us, don't hit our DMs, nothing like that, because we don't control this stuff.
The one thing I want you to hit our DMs with is if you played Ultimate Muscle Roller Championship. I want to hear. I want to hear it.
Yeah, that.
Please tell us.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Now we've gotten all the pleasantries out the way. It's time to break into tonight's news and events. How about that? So, first thing we're going to talk about tonight is a bit of Xbox news. concerning probably a highly anticipated title if you guys if you are into that type of thing, because we need to talk about the fate of Fable for the Xbox Series X. And no, it's not bad news. Not this time, because there's been a lot of bad news going around about Fable. But this is not bad news because
who hates Fable?
It's not that anyone hates Fable. It's more like this new Fable project, which technically is like called Fable 4, is in a bit of trouble.
Which is like, I mean, the fact that they're hiring a narrative lead now,
yeah,
means like how long have they been just sitting on their ass not doing anything?
Exactly. So
like that's what's kind of got me a little worried. Like we ain't gonna see this game for a long time. Mm-hmm. Because I would say this is probably one of the key things you want from day one.
Yeah, like have they kind of been sitting in the office, like kind of just sitting a little like, shit, what should we do? And then Timmy, 2 offices down, is like, hey, should we hire someone? And they're like, God damn it, Timmy, that's why we hired you. Let's go. And like, is that what was happening?
Like BioWare just hired a narrative lead for Mass Effect. They hired one of the head. Well, here's the thing. They just started working on Mass Effect. We know
the new one?
Yeah, the new one. They just started.
I didn't even know they were coming out with a new one. Excuse my ignorance.
I think was it this past winter that they released a trailer saying
Game Awards at the Game Awards.
Yeah, they just released a trailer saying the new Mass Effect is coming. So that's literally like.
Is this a sequel to the last one? Or?
Yeah, well, not Andromeda. No. It's a sequel. It's a sequel to Mass Effect 3 because Liara is in that video.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're just gonna have to watch the trailer because there's a lot of little like tidbits in terms of like, the links between, and apparently I hear there's links between the original trilogy and the Andromeda.
Which would be great because like Andromeda technically starts at Andromeda, like the Andromeda Initiative actually happens at the end of Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
So technically it goes 1, 2, Andromeda 3.
No, because Andromeda, because their journey. What they were 200-year journey, weren't they?
500.
500. Okay, yeah. So our galaxy is long gone.
Yeah.
By the time they wake up.
Oh, okay.
So basically, like obviously they just hired a lead. I think they hired the lead writer position. So that makes sense because the game obviously just started development.
Mm-hmm.
But Fable, we've been hearing about Fable for years.
Yeah, exactly. And with that news, like Anna McGill has been promoted to narrative lead for Fable. So if you've been keeping track of all the developments that at the Studio Playground Games, you'd probably be excited for the news that Anna McGill is actually who's actually a writer for popular games like Control and Dishonored, has now been promoted to the narrative lead for Fable. I'm not sure who the narrative lead was before Fable. I'm not even sure if they didn't have one, like Stoy said. But she's it now.
I mean, maybe they did, and this person moved on, and they just got a new one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if she helped, I didn't play Control, and I didn't play Dishonored, but I played Dishonored 2.
Mm-hmm.
So if she was somehow involved with helping make Dishonored 2, then I can see how Fable is in good hands because I enjoyed Dishonored 2.
I have a funny feeling she probably wasn't on that because Dishonored 2 came out when? I don't know.
I mean, obviously that was the previous generation, so a while ago.
I just didn't know if maybe if she helped with 1, she helped with 2, but
yeah, because according to this, she got picked up. She got picked up to become a writer for Fable, for the Fable project back in 2020, and she just got the promotion to narrative lead. So yeah.
Oh my god, jeez.
Yeah. And it took to Twitter to announce the exciting news regarding the promotion, and fans responded with kind mini offerings. On congratulations for that. Speaking back on Fable, back when she was first brought onto the team, Anna had this to say: "Fable holds a special place in my heart. It came out the year I started in game dev, and it's the first game I played with a developer's eye. But even so, I wasn't sure this Fable was right for me. I was like, is this going to be just a bunch of medieval fart jokes? But the team's story vision reassured and excited me. It's the perfect fit, and I can't wait to get started. That was her quote back when she was brought on to the team and stuff like that. So it's kind of hilarious reading about that, because I remember when we saw the reveal for Fable 4, the first thing some of the guys in Boston says, "Oh, guys, more fart jokes."
That's hilarious.
Well, I mean, that's kind of Fable's thing. I mean,
Yeah, it is. It
yeah.
is. All right. So the news about this development update does follows recent concerns raised about the Fable team potentially reiterating the scoping of the whole project, with which the team claims there's nothing to worry about and everything is fine. Yeah, like I said, like a lot of people have been keeping track of what's going on with Fable, because Fable is technically on one of the most wanted lists for Xbox games to come out in the future and stuff like that. So people are paying an eye to it, and I've been seeing news lately about how there's all these shakeups and all these shuffles, going on with the Fable team and stuff like that. So I'm hoping they get together. I'm not saying that I'm going to go out of my way to play the next Fable game, but I know there's a demand for a new and a good Fable game. So definitely best of luck. By the way, Playground Games is currently gearing up for the release of Forza Horizon 5, the Hot Wheels expansion. So, and that's coming out on July 19th. So at least they're doing something right now,
Who doesn't love big Hot Wheels cars? I mean,
oh yeah. It's those tracks that everybody's all about. So I'll ask you guys real quick. Are you guys excited for the upcoming release of Fable?
I mean,
I'm waiting.
I played.
Stoy's like, I'm waiting.
I mean, I'm waiting.
Yes, I played the original Fables, and they're great. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Stoy's like, don't you see me over here?
No, I know. I mean, I it's just like I've been waiting this long already, and it's just
how long
like
has it been since Fable 3?
I mean, 360, like
That's
really
what
early.
I thought. I didn't think there was an Xbox One game announced, but it never happened.
Yeah, because Peter Molyneux kind of was just like effing around, and then I think it just got canceled. It was supposed to be some like top down thing. I forgot. It like
that's
some
right. Yeah,
top down co-op.
I remember
everything.
that now. Yeah,
and I think they just like scrapped it because like I don't know what was happening, but I mean I've been waiting this long, and it's just like I really hope it gets what it deserves.
Yeah, for sure.
It was probably one of the most premier. I mean, if not the premier RPG for Xbox at the time. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we can go ahead and move on to our next news topic, which is we got a bit of PlayStation news tonight, and that is Western Digital's SSDs are now Sony official. And what do I mean by Sony official? I mean that the Western Digital SN850 solid state drive is now a PlayStation branded piece of hardware. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so actually, wait. No, Stoy, you have a PlayStation. Andre, you do not have a PS5 right now, right?
No, I don't. No.
So,
I like how you started this out with like, okay, here we go.
The reason why I did that,
we're ready to fight, like cracking.
The reason why I did that is because I lost my train of thought real quickly. I was trying to grab the timestamp. So,
yes, I have a PS5. Yes, I think SSDs are too expensive. Although today was Prime Day, so I think they were selling off a 1 terabyte SSD hard drive for about like $120.
109 actually.
Yeah, something like that.
109.
I mean, it was pretty cheap, but
yeah. So Western Digital and Sony are officially partnered up and to officially offer a licensed solid state drive that is PlayStation branded. I already said it's the SN850 NVMe solid state drive, which you will soon be able to spot on shelves sporting a price tag of $169.99 US for the 1 terabyte size.
Like 200 probably for me.
Yeah, what's the price difference in Canada?
Okay, if I look up here, let's go 1 TV SSD.
$160 in the loony.
Amazon right now is $130 for a 1 terabyte solid state drive.
Not bad.
That's the. Should I look up the one that you said? The SN850.
Yeah, the SN850.
Okay, hang on. SN8. Okay, here. So Amazon WD Black solid state 1 terabyte SN850 and VME internal gaming solid state was $178. Now $132.
Okay, not bad.
On Amazon, and that's on Newegg as well. Best Buy from $219 to $150, and then the same thing, 2 terabyte was $305, now $227 on Amazon.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So
right, yes,
that's the price difference.
That's for today, Prime Day. Like, get ready for that price to go back up.
Yeah, like you have today and tomorrow to get it, and then you're paying basically $200 for a 1 and then $305 for a 2. So
yeah,
hop on that like a kangaroo.
Yeah. So when they actually hit the shelves, like they'll be going for $170 for 1 terabyte and $280 for the 2 terabyte options. Wonderful news though is that now people who are unsure what the best most qualified upgrade for their PlayStation storage is, like this is it now. Like it's got Sony's actual stamp of approval on stuff like that, and also like Mark Cerny, the guy who actually engineered the PlayStation 5, like he even revealed that the SN850 was his internal PS5 SSD of choice and stuff like that. Now, if you are a very savvy shopper, the 1 terabyte version of the SN850 can be purchased with a heavy discount at major retailers such as Best Buy. In the U.S. right now, like you can find one on the shelves for $150. But weirdly enough, you can purchase the same one, the non-branded one, on Western Digital's official website for $119.99. so the marketing's. Here's what I know: branding. You're always gonna pay an upcharge. It's always that. So like one thing I will say, like I work in the IT business and stuff. I do computers and stuff all the time. These SSDs and stuff like that. I can tell you where to find some good prices for it because I got mine on a 4 terabyte one, and as soon as it drops below $400, I'm in there.
Yeah, and for my Canadian people, Western Digital, the same thing that we're talking about, the 1 terabyte, $139, Amazon $132. So there's a little bit of a
there's in this economy you want to save however many dollars
you want to save every little penny you
yep.
And the 2 terabyte Memory Express, same thing, $244.
Wait, Memory Express,
so that's like a computer store.
Oh, okay, okay. I was about to say, it sounds like your PlayStation is not going to want to accept that one.
No, sorry. So, a computer store out here called Memory Express, Western Digital, the same thing that we're talking about, 2 terabyte, $244. Newegg, which I think you should know about. Newegg?
Yeah.
Okay, so Newegg, same thing, $239. So again, there is a little bit of a price difference. So.
See, for me, I would think if I want to make it worth it, I want to buy the 2 terabyte one.
I would.
Yeah.
I would for sure.
Honestly, the 2 terabyte. If I can be really candid here, like with the way how big games are now, that 1 terabyte is not going to do you much good after like 4 months.
Yep.
It's
not.
God,
you play Call of Duty. That's 1 terabyte gone. Easy.
Yeah.
Well, like besides, look at it. Like the PS5 comes with a 1 terabyte SSD already. Like hard, it's hardwired onto the board, stuff like that. But the problem is, over 300 gigs of it is used for the actual operating system and everything else that's needed for the PlayStation to work, which is wild when you consider that like Microsoft Windows for PCs only takes up about, on a good day, only takes up about 30 gigs of space on a good day. Yeah, so there's that. So just think when PS5 came out, the guys asked me, like Austin, Nelly, and them, they asked me hey, fill up your hard drive and see how many games you can get on it. So I went right to the PlayStation Plus collection, started downloading everything I could. I managed to get like 4 PS4 games on there, and a couple of the PlayStation Store games, like PS Vita games and stuff that were compatible with the PS5 and stuff like that. So it fills up fast. So a 1 terabyte SSD, a 1 terabyte expansion SSD, like it's good if it's all you can get it, you know. But think about the 2 terabyte. You know, that's just some friendly advice. I'm not telling you what to buy. We're not telling you what to buy.
Honestly, I can't back that up enough. I would get the 2 terabyte. I have this saying that I've adopted. When it comes to expensive things, you how's it? Oh, you buy once and you cry once, and then it's done. That's it.
Yeah.
Buy it, cry, and then you forget that it was half of your college funds, and then you're good. Because, like you said, games are stupidly expensive, or sorry, not stupidly expensive, stupidly big, and they're only gonna get bigger. And that's just a base game. You talk about expansions and everything else, like come on, like 2 terabyte, you're solid.
Here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. Like I was flipping out when I saw the Microsoft Flight Simulator was over 120 gigabyte download for the PC. So just imagine what is eating up on an Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
Let me tell you a game that doesn't eat up a lot of hard drive space. House Flipper.
Yeah, I saw it coming.
House Flipper.
I saw that from a mile away.
Hours of enjoyment for a tiny fraction of hardware space.
I saw that.
Stoy, you haven't upgraded your PS5 storage yet, have you?
No,
me neither.
Because he hasn't yet. Because he still has to install some radiators. He's saving up.
I'm saving up, man. 17 more radiators. I'm good to go to get that 2 terabyte. Let's go.
So
and a couple cockroaches on the way.
Yep.
So what's your guys' thought on like there being an officially like branded SSD for the PlayStation? I think it's going to save quite a few people some heartache and stuff like that because
Microsoft has their own proprietary,
SSD.
So I mean, it makes sense.
It's like a memory card though. Like it just plugs in. Like
it's a
like
slot.
it's actual expand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's expensive too. It's like $219, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
It's basically shit. You might as well buy an Xbox Series S.
It's probably gonna be cheaper to buy like another Xbox.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah.
All right. So our next bit of news is actually some gaming news, but I think this is a big one because like we're announcing an acquisition that you may or may not have already heard about that happened today. Supermassive Games has been acquired. For you guys that do not know who Supermassive Games are, they are the people who brought us those wonderful games Until Dawn and The Quarry, as well as the Dark Pictures anthology and stuff like that. So they've just been acquired. And you know what?
Supermassive Games that brought you the famous line, "Are you gonna take her to Bone Town, bro?" the genius Oscar award-winning writing team.
Forgive the show notes, guys. Like there was definitely a slip up in there. But Nordisk Games has acquired developer Supermassive Games, which is the UK based game developer best known for those titles that I just pointed out.
You mean you don't want to talk about all this Persona stuff that's underneath the news article? I was wondering if you were going to.
I was like, is he going to say anything about the
Persona? That was 2 weeks ago, and I'm fast like that, so I was able to pull up the actual article that I wrote this morning.
But if anyone doesn't know, the Persona series I'm just kidding. Start going off about that.
No.
So question, guys, are you a fan of the Persona series? And
are you planning on playing Persona 5 Rails with
Okay. After previously taking a 30.7% stake in the company last year, Nordisk has now gone with the whole cow and committed to 100% for Supermassive Games. This is all being done to increase in their quote, to increase our support team, and most importantly, continue the great working relationship they have with Supermassive. News of the acquisition was shared in a release on Supermassive's website as earlier today. And in some quick words about it, Supermassive Games CEO Pete Samuels had this to say: It's been a little over a year since Nordisk Games made an initial investment in Supermassive Games. In our vision of the future, we have an exciting and ambitious growth strategy for Supermassive Games, and Nordisk Games ownership only enhances that. I'm hugely excited about where the security offered by this partnership and continued access to expertise within Nordisk Games will take us. Supermassive was founded in 2008 with and currently employs over 200 people based in Guildford, UK. And is joining the likes of other teams that are also part of the umbrella with Avalanche Studios, who's best known for Just Cause, as well as Mercury Steam, who if you've been anywhere this last year, Metroid Dread. They are those guys.
Great game.
An official price point for the buyout hasn't been shared, and we may never know. That's how these things go. While many still feel Supermassive Games has never managed to hit the same heights they did with Until Dawn on the PS4 when it released in 2015, the Dark Pictures anthology has proven to be a strong series for the studio, which has only gotten better with each new entry in the series, as well as we are getting ready for the next entry, which is The Devil in Me, set to come out. It's set to come out later this year. I don't have.
Yeah, these guys are hammering out these titles. It's almost like 2 a year at this point.
The Devil in
like they
Me
just keep turning them out.
It does, but these games all have a theme.
Wait, is The Devil in Me the game like the game style like the Corey and all that, and Until Dawn?
No. Well, actually, kind of. Yeah. These games all have the same narrative style.
Is the Quarry and Until Dawn the same style? Because I haven't played the Quarry yet.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the Quarry and Until Dawn are the same style. And
okay.
And the Dark Pictures games, thinking Man and Medan. I can't remember the other two games. God, I feel like we talk about them almost every week.
House of Ashes.
House of Ashes, that's another one. Yeah. And crap, I can't remember. So Devil in Me is the fourth one. I think this is set for, if it's not 5 games, I think it's 7 games. But they've got this sweetheart deal worked out with Bandai Namco, who's the publisher of all these games and stuff like that. And like I said, the games have just gotten progressively better as each new entries come out. The Man of Medan was kind of slow, but definitely House of Ashes. I've heard a lot of good things.
House of Ashes was the third one, and I forget. I think what was the second one called? Because they were like in a town.
Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Dark Pictures Anthology. All right, so in the house, we've got. Come on, Wikipedia.
I know.
Okay,
I know. The Man of Medan. I'm gonna be.
Yeah, The Man of Medan came out in 2019. Little Hope came out in 2020.
Little Hope, damn it.
House of Ashes came out in 2021, and The Devil in Me is the next one set to come out, which comes out later this year. Let's see. Supermassive filed trademarks for 6 potential future entries.
Good games, good titles.
5 feature the standard the Dark Pictures branding, subtitled The Craven Man, Directive 8020, Intercession, Winterfold, and Switchback. Looks like they're going to keep this thing going. These guys, we might be seeing the makings of not Quantic Dream. Is that David Cage's studio?
I gotta say, these guys have a plan. Like
they do,
and they got it all sorted out. They got it all mapped out, and they're just hitting the ground running. This is what it means to have like a well organized kind of structure and well organized like vision and focus.
Yeah, that's probably why like Nordisk just jumped on it. They're like, look, we got the money. You want it?
Yeah, and I know you guys are working on games for the next couple years.
Mm-hmm.
That are going to be coming out pretty quickly because they're just hammering them out and they got a good plan. So yeah, it makes it very attractive for anybody to come in and just be like, hey, we'll buy you and we'll support you. And they know what they're doing. So it's not like they have to like intervene.
I mean, they definitely are surrounded by some other pretty competent teams too, because like Avalanche Studios with Just Cause and Mercury Steam with Castlevania, Lord of Shadows and Metroid Dread, of course. Which is funny because I know Ed was like Nintendo needs to buy Mercury Steam. Apparently they can't buy Mercury Steam.
Nope.
Yeah. So guys, what are your overall impressions about the news with Supermassive Games acquisition? Good thing, I'm thinking, right?
That's the new trend nowadays. Just acquisitions after acquisitions. I really hope that these developers can at least maintain some sort of autonomy, but we won't know that for another few years.
Yep.
So
it does seem lately that a lot of things are being bought in the gaming industry, and I don't exactly fully know what Supermassive Games is, but I can say that there have been a lot of deals being made in the gaming industry, and I'm just hoping they all come through clean.
Yeah. Yeah. Crap. I lost my train of thought there for a second there. Nordisk Games. That's who acquired them. A friend of mine in chat was asking the question about that. Which of how familiar are with these games are you? Have you guys played any of their games? Because I played Man of Medan. I played Until Dawn. And I'm currently playing The Quarry.
How is that? Good?
The Quarry is good, but
this guy played The Quarry, and all he wanted to talk about was Monster Hunter the whole time.
I played The Quarry a couple of weeks ago.
You're still playing it. You could have still talked about it.
I'm not playing it. I haven't made any progress since the last time I played
it.
Bro,
I guarantee you I'm going to be talking about House Flipper next week.
Maybe I will talk about The Quarry next week.
Cool.
Which of these games like are your favorite though? Like which are the ones that Supermassive have done over the past few years? Because I think
I gotta give a special shout out to the worst thing Supermassive put out, which was a VR game called Bravo Team, and they released the game broken as hell, like it was broken.
Bravo. Hold on. I might have it.
It was supposed to be this really good, like tactical shooter, like using the PlayStation VR aim controller.
I have a story about that game.
Yeah. So this game came out like utter trash. Like there's parts of the game where the game breaks and you can't advance. Like you'd almost have to like start the game over again. And like when you think like, oh, they'll just update this, Supermassive comes out and says, no, we're not gonna do that. And they just abandoned it. Like they just left it out to die on a curb somewhere.
Like, it's almost like they want you to forget that they forgot about it.
Yeah, because I think like Sony like probably shopped out to like a lot of their developers like, hey, do you want to make a VR game? Because Supermassive made the Until Dawn Rush of Blood or something like that, which was a really good VR game. And because it's like you're on like kind of like a roller coaster of like horror, and it was like really good.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. But they were like, oh man, if they continue on with this quality, like Bravo Team's gonna be awesome, and it was just trash.
I mean, from the demo that I play, I have a story about that game, but from what I played, it was okay. But I mean,
it was not good.
I only played the so it was at a fan expo. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is. It's basically like a Vancouver version of Comic-Con.
Okay.
So 1 year I was walking by the PlayStation booth, and I think that game like was coming out or just dropped. They had like a demo of it, and you basically sit down and you get all the gear on, and you get like the gun, and you're like going, and it's the mission where you got to get to the other side of the bridge. If you know what that one is.
Yeah.
I never played it.
I vaguely remember.
I'm not big in VR.
It was basically like you and your guy were pinned down, and your evac was on the other side of the bridge, and you had to like kill like all the terrorists along, and then evac. Long story short, it was me, and on my right was just some like random like dude, and what I didn't realize was when I was playing it, I was doing like I survived the whole way. He died, so I had to save him, kill everyone, and then make it to the evac, and I did that. But when I took off the headset, I actually had like an audience around me, because right behind me was a giant TV that you could see everything. So everyone was watching me play. When I took off the headset, everyone I had like a giant audience around me, and I took off the headset, and like they're all like, woo, good job and stuff. And I actually had some of the PlayStation people come up and be like, hey, can we take a picture of you like playing the game? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. But I didn't know I was doing so good. Long story short, from the demo I played, it was pretty fun. But after the demo and it came out, I didn't hear like nothing about the game. So I guess that kind of like backpacks off what you said, Stoy.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't good.
Fair. But my favorite, I guess, massive game probably has to be Until Dawn. Only, sorry, not
45
only
on Metacritic. 45. Wow.
Wow, Jesus.
Wait, the VR game?
Yeah.
Ouch. Until Dawn was also I was a little biased because how can I explain this? I thoroughly enjoyed the legend of, what was the creature in that game? I can't remember.
Until Dawn?
Yeah.
Shit. I don't remember.
I know. Hang on. What was the creature in Until Dawn? Monster in
21 negative reviews.
The Wendigo.
Wendigos.
Yeah.
Why can I remember that? Why can I remember that?
Yeah, I'm like a sucker for that. So,
to me, honestly, Until Dawn is their best work.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
true.
I like definitely give props to the other games. I mean, I haven't played the Quarry or anything like that, but
the Quarry is good. The Quarry is good, but the problem is the Quarry gets off on such a slow start.
Yeah,
it has a really slow start, and then I'm not even one of those people that I just need the game to grab me and drag me down the street immediately and stuff like that. But I feel like for the amount of time I played at the beginning, I was like, man, I've been playing this for 3 hours. When's shit gonna pop off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of like that way with Little Hope too, because Little Hope kind of starts out a little bit slow, and then it starts getting it gets interesting kind of by the halfway point. But yeah, I think those games are kind of a little bit slower start.
Yeah. If they can get their pacing in the I don't want to screw them up and say if they get their pacing better in the beginning, then the game will flow better, because of course some people are we need to pick up the pace in the beginning, and then they make a slow ass game at the end. It's until I say Until Dawn also for me, but I am enjoying what I've seen with the Quarry. If not for the part, the voice acting talent in that game in the Quarry is amazing. They've got an A and B list of Hollywood, in this game, So there's that. We can go ahead and move on to our final news topic for the night now, which is all about Final Fantasy, particularly Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So in PlayStation news for tonight, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is not coming to PS4.
Good.
And I know Stoy saw that today, and he was already doing backflips, and cartwheels in the yard and stuff. Yeah. During an interview with Japanese publication Gamer, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth producer Yoshinori Kitase claimed several factors were involved in deciding not to release the game for PS4. It's exclusive to PlayStation 5 because of the graphical quality, of course, as well as the SSD speed. Since the adventure unfolds in a vast world after the escape from Midgar, load stress is an extreme bottleneck for the game. We felt we needed the specifications of the PS5 to overcome that and travel the world comfortably.
I honestly don't think
all they had to say is the PlayStation 5 is the new system. We're gonna make games on the new system. You don't have to give a reason. You don't have to say we want to take advantage of the hardware. PlayStation 4, that's last gen.
Yes, you do, because there's always going to be. But what about? There's always going to be somebody who does that.
What? It doesn't matter. That's a false flag argument to say. Well, what about this? What about that? What about? Oh, you don't see people saying, "Well, we utilize the PlayStation 4." No one was saying we're utilizing the PlayStation 4 hardware because the PlayStation 3 hardware doesn't provide the quality. No one said that. Why should we be saying that now?
Yeah, I honestly don't think there should be any question why
we're making it for the PS5. That's it. Bam.
Yeah,
end of story.
There should be no question why moving forward. To even think that the PS4 could properly, graphically, succeedingly play that game is a little insane.
I will say this: I don't see them making much more graphical strides on the Final Fantasy VII remake project without completely alienating the game. If that makes
they would have to change the engine completely.
Exactly. If Disc 3 of Final Fantasy VII, looks nothing like Disc 1, people are going to have a problem.
Yeah,
easily.
It's not even going to be a problem of it's more like it's going to take them out of the game, if that makes sense. You know, because like you do this with sequels, you don't do this with the same entries in the same game. Like yeah, like and before people like come at me and say, well, Kingdom Hearts did it. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts skipped a whole damn console generation, Tommy. Shit.
Is your real name Tommy?
No.
No.
Where did Tommy come from?
I just used a random name because like there's somebody.
I usually use the name Timmy. So
yeah, I didn't want to use Timmy today. I feel like I used Billy and Timmy.
Chad, what's the reason why Fable skipped the Xbox One generation?
Yeah, like I'm not
how
gonna
come
have.
we never got Metroid on the Wii U?
Shit, how come we never got Metroid on Nintendo 64? That's the main reason why I never bought that system. There's no Metroid.
Shit, why haven't we got a Metroid in a while? And I'm looking at you, Timmy. All right, stop fucking around, okay?
Why haven't we gotten F-Zero on the Wii and the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch yet?
Why haven't we gotten Monster? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna start talking about Monster Hunter.
Please don't.
Don't. You guys have a quota. I've issued a quota.
But yeah, there should be no discussion. Final Fantasy should not be on, especially the new one, should not be on the PS4. I'm sorry. New system. Let this one kind of slowly die out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Besides, you have until winter of next year to get prepared for this game. Like it's not like this game is coming out next week. You know,
get a paper route, save up money, buy a PS5.
Yeah, get a scalper bot. Get what you got to do.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. Take your mom's credit card, buy it, then move out. It's simple. Don't follow that advice, please.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, when it was revealed last month, gave gamers their first taste of events to come in Part 2 of the planned Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. As most of us know, the SSD for the PS5 was highlighted as Sony's headline feature for next gen, even before the system launched. Mark Cerny called the storage drive a true game changer, which would affect not just loading times, but fundamentally change how game developers built their game worlds for PS5 games. And they don't have to rely on the hard drives of older systems and stuff like that, such as the PS4 and things like that. While both the Xbox Series X and S also use SSD storage, Final Fantasy VII Remake has yet to have a release for Microsoft's consoles, more likely due to an exclusivity deal, going on between Sony. I'm going to be honest with you. If the Final Fantasy VII Remake project does come out on Xbox, it will probably be by the time the third part of the trilogy hits. I just feel like at this point, like if they didn't put it on Xbox right when they released it on PC, it's not coming.
Are we getting like a 1, 2, 3, 4? Like, are we getting 4 games, or do you guys think it's just gonna be like?
No, they've already said 3. Yeah,
it's 3.
Oh,
it's 3. Basically, okay. So the original Final Fantasy VII was on 3 discs on the PS1, and that's what they're going with. That's what they're trying to go with. They could they could possibly pull a Harry Potter or Hunger Games though, and get an extra.
No, I want to say they've officially announced it because in the Square Enix conference this summer they said we're keeping it at 3. And they just haven't announced the name of the third one yet, but yeah. I tend to believe them. It would be kind of shitty for them to kind of turn back on it.
And by the way, the Crisis Core game is a separate project, even though it is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. Right now, you can play Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4 and PS5 through backwards compatibility, while Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is available for PS5 and PC. All right, so there it is. Guys, are you excited for Rebirth? Are you excited to continue the adventures of Cloud, Tifa,
Barrett, and Aerith?
Yeah.
We're going to see Sid Highwind. Vincent's going to make a comeback. We're going to get Red 13 in the mix. Yuffie will join the party. Everybody's coming.
Yeah.
I never played the original.
You don't have to.
No,
that's
but part. I know that some people would argue that. That's completely fine. I jumped into the remake with a very open mind, and I was like, I know who Cloud is. I know who Sephiroth is. They both have giant swords. I enjoy swords. So I jumped into the game. Again, open-minded. And it was what's the best way to express this? It was nice to not go in biased, because I wasn't going to go in and be like, oh, this is not right. His hair's not pointy enough, right? I was just like, I've never played this. I've heard of it. It sounds fun. So After beating said game, I was very happy, very pleased, and I am looking forward to eventually continuing the journey of said company and friends.
See, that's the thing. I wonder if like almost like because they're changing the story.
I've heard it's nothing like the OG one. So.
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah, it's like it walks the line.
Like it's almost like we're getting the director's cut for Final Fantasy VII.
I almost think like we're getting like a kind of like it's almost like a retconning, so to speak, where they're just like, we understand there is an original story, but we're going to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And the game itself is very self-aware in that it's almost like, you know, it's like fourth wall breaking, where it's like, this is what happens, but now that they're aware of what happens, they could have a possibility of changing it. So there could be some key story elements that are going to be completely different, that'll probably divide the fan base. You know,
there were some new battles in Final Fantasy VII Remake alone that I was like, yeah, I played the hell out of Final Fantasy VII on PS1, and I don't remember this shit.
Yeah.
Well, that was even like a big one was when those three Jesse.
They have a much bigger role in this game than they did in the original game, because
which I heard that. Okay, so where I'm going, think. In the original game, I heard all three of them die, but in this game, only one of them dies. And I think it's I could be wrong. I think it's Jessie.
Yes.
The girl?
Spoiler alert, if anyone has not played it, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
but like so that was a huge thing for people.
Yeah, they have a much bigger role in this game than they did in the original. That I can say for sure. Like there's so much side content, and they're definitely, honestly, they're, you know, thinking back on it now, like they're giving so much. They're giving. The game had some pretty deep lore way back in the PS1 days, but they're adding so much on top of this, and I think it's only because, like, you know, because we have Final Fantasy Advent Children, which was the movie that like ended the whole thing, you know, and of course they also had the Final Fantasy VII project game, which was like Dirge of Cerberus, of course Crisis Core, and there was one other game. I can't remember what it is. Dirge of Cerberus put a bad taste in my mouth that I was done with all the Final Fantasy VII stuff at that point, you know. Yeah, but I will say this, and then we can move on to we have a question tonight. I'll say this about Final Fantasy VII. When this remake project was announced, I almost tried to do what I did with Mass Effect, which was I will just, you know, like I will wait and then play all three, you know, when it's all out in one collection, because like I really enjoyed Mass Effect that way. But at the same time, I didn't have an Xbox 360, so, you know, I had to wait. You know, I had to wait, or I had to go buy an Xbox 360. So it was one of those situations, and I almost considered doing this with Final Fantasy VII, but then I realized, I was like, you know, we live in a day and age now where, like, you know, it took them 9 years to come out with Kingdom Hearts 3. I was like, no, I couldn't do it. I was like, I need to play these games while I can, because like Square could like go bankrupt and we would never get the final game. So so I went that route. So yeah, I was really happy that I did get Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I'm gonna ask the big question, and then we'll move on. What are your thoughts about the game not releasing for PS4?
I've already said my thought. So.
Story's like, yes, yes, another win for next gen.
No, another win for the current gen. We are in the current gen. PS5 and the Series X.
We are.
Is the current gen. PS4, Xbox One, that's last gen. And you've heard me say this before. If you don't have a new system right now, that's your fault. That is your fault. Yes, you may.
Yeah, Timmy. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, Chad. You're sitting here complaining, I still don't have a PS5 yet. That is you willingly not hunting for it.
Stop drinking Monsters, punching drywall, and going to the gym, Chad. Get a PS5. It's simple.
Get a PS5.
I think Stoy just came up with a chapter with the title for his next article.
Chad, if you don't have a PS5, that's your damn fault.
It's your fault. All right, guys, we have a question from the audience tonight. So let's go ahead and field that now, so we can get to our big topic. Which are you guys ready for the big topic? I hope you are.
Honestly, I'm still thinking. I'm like, there's so many I could pick, but I'm like, I don't know what to talk about.
All right, so this question tonight comes from our one and only Corey Dierig. You know him as the Boss Rush Network guy. He's also my partner on Boss Rush podcast as
You
well as
also
After
know
Dark.
him. You also know him as Corey.
Yeah, yeah, I said that right.
Yeah,
I just said his name right. Okay,
I was just joking. You may also
okay.
know him as just Corey.
All right, so
If you're into
Corey's
that sort of
question.
thing.
So Corey's question is, guys, what do you think of about the PlayStation 5's exclusive lineup at this moment?
So this is a great question because this was one of the reasons I didn't enjoy my PS5 as much, because I feel when the PS5 came out, it was a huge thing. PS5, holy shit. If you had one, you were basically the cool kid on the playground. I got one when I was in the midst of making my PC. I just found that when they came out of the gate, they didn't have a lot lined up, and it really, really hurt them. Now I can't speak, but out the gate, off the rip, it was not a lot to look forward to, and I think that put a bad taste in my mouth because it was all the good shit was coming out like at the end of the year next year, and it's like, well, you guys basically dropped the hottest system of the year, like basically, but didn't give it floaties to float on the water. It's like,
Yeah,
I just don't understand the timeline you had. So the current lineup, like if I was to buy a PS5 again, I'd honestly probably get like Horizon and then call it. Like I don't know what is really out there for PS5 at the moment. Like we have God of War coming, we have a lot of games that have been like upscaled to the PS5, but PS5 exclusive games, I just don't really know like what's out there.
we've got Ratchet and Clank.
I played that and I beat it. It was great. I loved it.
We have shoot.
I mean, Miles Morales.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Miles
Oh yeah,
Morales.
true. Okay, yeah.
You got Horizon Forbidden West,
Gran Turismo,
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't know. Like, I guess I could say Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. You know, they kind of went sneaky on that one.
Yeah.
Sifu,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sifu. Okay, so
Sifu is currently an exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay, so now of those games, when the PS5 first dropped, how many of those were out though?
Miles Morales, a Demon Souls remake.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. Yeah.
And then Ratchet and Clank, so 3.
Ratchet and Clank came out. Shit. Okay. PlayStation 5 came out in PlayStation 5 came out in November. Ratchet and Clank came out my birthday, June the next year of that.
Oh, okay. So sorry, and then Miles Morales wasn't even
Miles Morales was a launch title.
Yeah, but wasn't it not like a full game? I've only heard
it was a full game.
It was okay.
I mean, you know,
I thought it was a full game. I mean,
yeah, there are people
like
out there
15 hours.
There are people out there beating in like 6 hours and stuff, you know, because some people that just like the rest of their games and stuff. But you know, know, we could have a conversation on like what makes a game a complete game. You know, like is it gameplay? Because like some games are complete and you beat them in 2.5 hours.
That's a game.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care how long a game is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just because your game is like 60, 70, 80 hours doesn't mean it's any better than a game that's 2 hours long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the way I feel too.
That's a whole nother topic we can get into. But.
So going back to my point, when the PS5 first dropped, there was not a lot out. And I think that really hurt it and hurt my interest in keeping it. Do I regret it? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I'd like to step away from my computer, go downstairs, maybe just and play that. But again, it's like, what is really, really out there that's like eye-catching? So to answer your question, Corey, hang on, what was the question again? I've gone too far now.
What do you think about the PlayStation 5's exclusive lineup at this moment?
At the moment, I think it's a lot better than what it was. And I think this should have been more towards the start. Like maybe, so if it dropped in November, I'm thinking like February, March, April-ish. We should have started seeing a lot more. So right now, great, but I think it should have moved back like months.
Yeah, because now we have like some bangers like freaking Returnal, you know.
Yeah, now we have some hitters, right? So
yeah,
but look how long it's taken for the hitters to come. So
mm-hmm.
so my question is great right now, awesome, chef's kiss, little late to the punch.
I mean, they're doing better than Xbox, the Series X. I mean, admittedly, like they got a couple decent ones, but not with this list that PlayStation has.
Which actually surprises me because I thought Xbox like came out the gate hard and they had titles lined up. So I could be wrong.
They came out hard with the investments. They came out hard with the pocketbook, but they still have yet to see a return on all that investment quite yet.
Yeah.
So,
okay, it's been a slow trickle since because let's put it this way, like they previewed Halo before the Xbox was coming out, and people immediately trashed it because like it looked like a PS3 game.
Yeah,
that's one of the direct comments that was found on the web about the game. Like it looked like a PS3 game. Like,
so I'm looking at this exclusive list, and now that I think about it, there's not a lot of PlayStation 5 exclusive titles. Like,
are you talking about right now or back when it launched?
Like, because like a lot of those games that we talked about, they're all on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So, Returnal, Demon Souls, those are like Ratchet and Clank. Those are like PS5 exclusive titles. Like, that's it. That's the only place you can play those games. But everything else, pretty much is. Yeah, like it's all in PlayStation 4 as well.
is stunting. PS4 is stunting like PlayStation 5's like life cycle. Like, I mean, we've got The Last of Us Part 1 coming out, which is for the PS5. Like, we now know that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be PS5 only. Forspoken, whenever that game comes out.
PS5. Actually, I think Ghostwire Tokyo was a PS5 exclusive. Yeah, that's it.
Ghostwire Tokyo is PS5 and PC. Yep. Yeah, and by the way, we don't count PC titles as ruining somebody's exclusivity. We don't.
Yeah.
Because Ragnarok will be on PS4 as well, so it's not technically exclusive. Spider-Man 2, when that comes out, is supposed to be PS5 only. Wolverine will be PS5 only. KOTOR remake will be PS5.
Oh God.
Yep.
See, and this is where I think Microsoft has the edge, because they said they said the beginning of this year that every game that they're going to be making from here on out, every game that will be released will be Series X exclusive. So they are committed to now basically developing games for this current generation.
Well, they haven't really made any new games for Xbox One though, have they? I feel like I mean, there's new games coming out, but Microsoft themselves, I don't think they've made an actual Xbox One game.
I mean, over the last couple of months, I want to say some
Forza?
of them have come out.
Wait,
Forza? Yeah, Forza.
Okay. I may be wrong. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I said this year. They basically said everything else that you're going to see that's coming out is Series X. And Andre has his hand raised.
Yeah,
in the
he
back
had a question.
There, so
and he zoomed his camera in so we could see him.
My question was, when you mentioned the KOTOR remake, I can't remember, is it going to be PC as well?
Right now, it only says PlayStation, but I have a funny feeling it will be PC.
Google, the KOTOR remake for PC will likely be alongside the PS5 version at launch. However, the game is still in early development.
Likely. I don't believe that.
So the release date PS5, PC and PS5 probably won't be until 23, 24.
Here's what I've seen in practice so far. A game comes out in PS5, and then it comes out 6 to 8 months later on PC.
I have a bit of an itch to scratch after reading that. Hardcore Star Wars fan. I played KOTOR 1 and 2 on Xbox. And then I can play it on Steam and the iPad now. Why is the remake coming to PlayStation?
Sony threw money. That's all. That's the only thing I can think of. Sony threw money.
Yeah.
It's just weird because it's just.
Well, let's think about this.
Let's
think. Well, hold on.
I never clued in until now.
Let's think about this. KOTOR never came out on a PlayStation system. The original Knights of the Old Republic never came out on a PlayStation system.
Yeah.
So I think now it's coming around full circle, because like most people who've owned an Xbox and had a PC have been able to play Knights of the Old Republic. But now we've got a new experience out there, and like I do feel bad for the people who want to re-experience this, on day one and stuff like that. Shit, all I will say is get a PlayStation, and yeah, we're not just a PlayStation podcast anymore, so I can say that now and not be facetious,
If it is only PS5,
no, it's a limited exclusive.
I low key might buy one just to play that game.
It's a limited exclusive. It's a limited exclusive, but I also don't think that this game, given that it had PS5 exclusivity, I don't see this game being a Game Pass day one. When it does finally hit Xbox systems, I don't see it being like that.
No, and it's so strange how it's going to be exclusive.
Wait! You know what? I just realized something though. Like Disney owns all the Star Wars stuff though, and Disney seems right now to have a better relationship with Sony than they do with Microsoft. I just realized that.
Yeah, that's true.
I just realized that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but yeah, it dawned on me because as I was reading that, I was like, hang on, I've only ever played it on Xbox, so why all of a sudden is it just jumping over the bridge? So.
Yeah. All right. Shoot. Any final thoughts here? Actually, wait. Stoy, did you really give me input to this question? I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you did.
I mean, I piggybacked off of everybody.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I mean, I put in my 2 cents.
As a dyed-in-the-wool PlayStation gamer here, even though like I'm part of PC Master Race, as a dyed-in-the-wool PlayStation gamer, I think right now like the exclusive lineup for PlayStation right now, like it's good, but it could be stronger. Yeah, it's got some good stuff, and like I said earlier in our conversation, the PS4 is getting into PlayStation 5's way. Which Sony originally had a plan before the pandemic happened that they were going to phase the PS4 out quick as shit. Before
the chip shortage, I would
before
say
the
that
chip
was
shortage,
probably
yeah.
that was probably their biggest block.
Yeah, because I can't remember who went on record. It wasn't what's his name, the big wig at Sony. It wasn't him. I think it was Sony Japan. They were saying that they realized the PS3 ate up so much of the PS4's life cycle that they did not want to repeat that with the PS5 in the PS4. So that was a big thing, and they had already delisted the PlayStation 4 Pro in Japan. Like the PS5 came out, and 2 months later, it was hard to find a PS4 Pro in Japan, brand new on the shelf.
Damn.
Yeah, Sony was slowing
it's the
down
same.
production.
It's the same now. Like, I mean, when was the last time you walked into like a Target or a Walmart and saw a PS4?
But here's the thing about it, I don't think anyone's caring anymore. I think that's what it's balancing out. I don't think anyone's caring anymore. Like people are walking past there. I mean, I have a PS5 and I'm still walking past like all these electronic sections looking to see if they have any on the shelves. It's just out of curiosity. I like seeing when this stuff is on the shelf, even though I already have it.
Well, I'm talking about PlayStation 4s. Like you don't see them.
Yeah, you don't see them. Hell, I don't see base PS4s.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the PS4 Slim anymore. Yeah, like I feel like nobody's buying them, which boggles my brain that like they still have SKUs for them. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I feel like actually this year coming up. So right now between July 2022 and July 2023, that's when we're gonna see like some momentum. Yeah,
I like to piggyback off what I said. The end of this year, next year, 2024, like if you are someone who is like exclusive this, exclusive that, you better start saving up because like it's coming hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like game, break for like a month or two, game, and it's gonna be banger, and it's gonna be like frightening because the price of games is going up and the amount of games coming out, chaos.
Yeah, for real.
Time to get a second job.
No shit.
And you're not even going to have time to play video games because you're going to be working your ass off all the time.
No shit, man. At that point, you're going to need a second job, start freaking paper route. All right, Timmy, get on it.
Or get two partners.
Or invest in that Xbox Game Pass. It seems like damn near everything that comes to Xbox is damn near on Game Pass anyway.
Yeah,
all their first party titles are,
Yeah, all their first party titles and a nice chunk of third party.
Yeah, that too. So yeah.
Where else can you find bangers like House Flipper? I mean, you can. I mean, Game
I
Pass.
have one.
House it sells itself.
I have one that can compete.
No. Yeah. I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
What is it?
No, I don't want to hear it.
Thank you.
Not even.
Thank you.
Get out of here.
All right, power.
Thank you. And guess where you can guess where you can get a Monster Hunter game for free right now. PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, Timmy.
All right, guys.
I don't see House Flipper on PlayStation Plus.
It might show up.
Oh yeah,
it might show up.
All right. So everybody, to get the scoop on all of tonight's topics, links have been provided in our stream chat. Go check them out, and also continue conversation with us on our Twitter page at @PS_Crossroads. If you'd like to have your question read on the show, tweet us at @PS_Crossroads or email us at crossroadspspod@gmail.com. And we can now get into the big topic for tonight. We're gonna make this one pretty fast because I know somebody's got a movie to go see. But guys, tonight I want to talk about our biggest gaming regret, and let me just go ahead and kind of set this up real quickly. Whether you consider yourself a casual, hardcore, or just a gamer in passing, every person engages in the video game. Every person that's engaged in the video game hobby has some regret in their history that they either wish they could forget or they could use as fuel to strengthen their gaming journey going into the future. So did you ever never finish a game that was a must-play experience in the gaming community? Or was your speed run always plagued by one harrowing mistake that you never got past? I'm looking at my playthroughs of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES game. Or did you run your bank account into the ground just to ensure you had all the collectibles from your favorite franchise? Let's talk about some of our biggest gaming regrets here tonight, guys.
Okay. Off the bat, never really getting into Super Mario 64.
Mario 64?
Yeah, you missed the boat on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you play it right now, it's rough.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's one game.
That's the thing about those, like nostalgia carries
what
those
that
games.
was like. Yeah, that okay. If we're going way back, that Star Fox 64, a lot of like N64 games.
See, I think Star Fox 64 is a little bit. That's a palpable game that you could actually get into now. Like if you were to play it now, it's actually a lot more enjoyable, a lot more. It's a lot easier to play than like Mario 64, just because Mario 64 was like the birth of like the 3D action platform.
Yeah, right. That was like the game. It was either that, Star Fox, or Zelda. It was one of the three you were playing. If you didn't play one, you're playing the other one.
Well, I hate to be that guy, but there's no regret for me with the Nintendo 64 era games because I didn't own one. And and in all seriousness, I feel like that's a generation of gaming that, you know, I think I made the right call. Like Nintendo 64 and PlayStation was out. I went PlayStation, you know, so I don't really regret that. And besides, the games I felt like I need to play on in Nintendo 64, I had a buddy. We would swap systems, you know. Whenever I had a game he wanted to play, or he had a game that I wanted to play, we would swap. I would borrow his 64, he'd borrow my PlayStation. Mm-hmm. So we had like a good agreement, you know. I played a few of them. Mario 64 was one of the games I played, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, I had the Super Mario 3D collection. And man, yeah, Stoy is right. Whew.
It's rough, man.
It's rough. Like, I mean, at least Super Mario Sunshine is like doing something.
Well, it's like telling people
Super Mario Sunshine is the best one ever. DM me and I'll fight you. It's simple.
I can agree with you. I can agree with you just for a simple fact is when we got the Super Mario Galaxy reminded me that I have 3D video game 3D motion sickness.
Yeah, it was odd. It was hard playing that game. I liked Odyssey a lot, but Sunshine has like a special spot in my heart. Like, actually, did you never finish a game that is a must play? That was mine. I never beat it. I don't know if it was a must play. To me, it was. I never beat it. And
according to the fans, it was a must play. Like you know,
what
like
fans?
Stoy. Think about what you're gonna say. Think about what you're gonna say. Okay.
I got fans looking at me like I'm nuts because I never played Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Actually,
I refuse to play those.
Oh,
games.
you don't have to play Majora's Mask. That's okay.
No, not really. But Ocarina is like a classic, like a cult classic.
Yeah.
Is it
a cult classic? Ask Corey. I bet you Corey would.
No, yeah. I mean, it is a cult classic. It's I think still to this day one of the most highly rated video games of all time.
I think
you're crazy. You're crazy because like I've seen people let's plays of this game and I'm like no like I feel like the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, which I did play and beat, was a better game.
That's the thing. If you were to take a 20, 30-year-old game and have someone play it new and experience it for the first time, you're not going to have a good time.
Okay, I
you
agree
needed
with that.
to play those games at that time.
Okay,
so Ocarina of Time, if you were to play that now, yeah, Wind Waker is a better controlled game. Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, everything plays and controls better than that game. But
I agree with what you're saying. I actually did attempt to play Ocarina of Time back when it was a new game, and that's when I realized that I did not like the new style of Zelda because I was definitely attached to like the Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. And
okay,
stuff like
boomer.
Okay, say what you will. I mean,
all right, boomer. No, that's fine. I mean, like I said, I still have a special place in my heart for Link to the Past. I think it's the far superior Zelda game of all time. But
something's got his attention.
No, okay, so no, my Google apparently reacted to when I said "Okay, boomer," and I think she thought I said "Okay, Google."
Okay, Google.
Oh.
Hey Google, what's a boomer?
Watch LeRon pop up.
Wow, I'm getting a whole big description too. I wish you guys can hear it. The Google thing is way over there. Hey Google, stop. Okay, all right. Anyway, okay, so yeah, that's the problem with it. Sorry for the disruption, but that's the problem with it. Like, if you were to even Resident Evil, the first Resident Evil for the PlayStation, classic. You were to have someone play it right now.
As much as I love that game, I have a hard time playing it.
I do. I would have a hard time playing it right now.
Yeah.
Like if I went back to play it, like
I'm just not used to.
I'd get into that muscle memory. I get into that muscle memory if this is how tank controls are. But yeah, like that's it's just rough if you were gonna have someone new.
The furthest back in Resident Evil I can go is Code Veronica, and that's only because there's no Code Veronica remake. So there's nothing to sully that experience right now.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Hopefully.
Speaking of that game series, in the notes here it says, every person that engages in the video game hobby has some regret in their history that they either wish to forget or that they use as fuel to strengthen their gaming journey.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil for me is my gaming journey because as a child I watched my dad play 1, 2, and 3, and anytime Nemesis would pop up on the screen and say his thing, I would leave the room.
He's traumatized.
Yeah, literally traumatized. So years later, I'm an adult and I make a pact to myself saying I'm going to play all the Resident Evil games. So I play 1, I play 2, and then
he couldn't finish 3.
No. So I played the OG 3. I played the original 3 that frightened me as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing well. I'm like, I got this. I was playing Nemesis. I knew when he was gonna. I knew when he would pop up. So he pops up on screen. I pause the game and I go, okay. I was like, all right, you can do this. No word of a lie. I paused it and I was like, you can do this. You can do this. I unpaused it. He ran at me. I paused it and went, I don't know if I can do this. Long story short, I beat the game. I was super proud of myself. After overcoming that, I ended up beating Code Veronica 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I haven't played 8 yet. So that for me was my gaming journey.
I would just love to have been in the room and saw you when he Kool-Aid Man, Nemesis Kool-Aid Man in the police station.
Dude, the first
tiny
time,
little Andre.
The first time, okay, so tiny me screamed. Adult me, when he jumped through the glass, and he's like, "Stars." I pause it, and I went, and like it was like I had like flashbacks. I was sweating. I was like, "How the hell do I beat these?"
Bro, I have flashbacks of Resident Evil 2, like when I was a grown ass. I mean, I wasn't a grown ass high school kid, but yeah, I remember just like the liquor when you were in the interrogation room and the liquor comes.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It
Yeah.
wasn't even
I
the
was playing
sound.
with.
It was like
I remember playing with a friend of mine, and both him and I like threw the controller. He threw the controller up in the air, and we both were like rolling on the ground, like screaming and crying at the same time, holding each other, like no.
It's not even like the sound they make. It's the small like.
yeah.
When you don't see it and you're like, where the fuck is this thing? And you know it's somewhere and you're like, oh my, that is traumatizing.
This one just came out of nowhere. That's what I think. That's kind of what shocked us the most. Is like we were just in a quiet little room, and all of a sudden, bam!
Yeah,
Jesus.
comes flying through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
the old ones have such a good way of just like surprise, and you're just like, holy crap, what is that coming out of a window?
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's better games out there right now that it's one of those things. Those games are stuck in the past. And
yeah, right, yeah.
You know,
and this can go back to the whole like nostalgia thing. This can go back.
Yeah,
they're like they belong in the past and they will stay there, and that's where they belong. So, but yeah, that was my gaming journey. Is that whole game series is like my little gaming adventure.
I will say one of my biggest regrets is like I'm not really like a video game hoarder. Like yeah, I have like a decent amount of like old like console games and stuff, you know. But I usually don't like once I've gotten my fill out of a console or something, I usually like can move on to it when like especially when we're like 2 generations past and stuff like that. But I think my biggest regret I would have to say is letting my Sega Saturn go.
Oof.
Because if you look at Sega's hardware history, Sega did their damnedest to make shit arcade perfect. And before the Dreamcast came out, the Saturn was the place to be. Like I mean, especially if you imported that 64 megabyte cartridge, that expansion cartridge, all of a sudden like all your games played like different creatures and stuff like that. You know, for example, like X-Men versus Street Fighter. You pop that cartridge in, you could actually tag your characters in and out now, and stuff like stuff like that. You know,
it's just a shame that Sega kind of botched the releases of a lot of their systems. They put too much out too quick. I think we were talking about that. They released the 32X and the Sega Saturn in the same year. Like, come on, Sega.
Yeah. Like
you were the chosen one.
Yeah, and I think
you were meant to bring balance.
You were meant to bring balance to the gaming world, not destroy it.
Not destroy it.
Yeah.
All the fans, I hate
you. Yeah, so there are days I literally think I was like, damn, I had all the Panzer Dragoon games, including Panzer Dragoon RPG, which like goes for I don't know how much money it goes for now, but I know if I'd held on to it, I'd be rich. Well, not rich, but you know, I'd be able to take a vacation with it.
Oh, easily for sure.
Yeah. And stuff like that, you know. That's a big regret for me. And I'm not even really a collector, like I said, like. But you know, I am proud of the fact that I have every PlayStation system I've owned. You know, I'm proud of that. You know, even though my boyfriend.
That's a good feat. That's a feat I don't know if many can do.
Yeah. Like right now, though, my boyfriend he's babysitting my PS4 because he wanted to play The Last of Us. So I was like,
Smart
yes,
man.
do this.
Why didn't he wait till the whatever?
Because he knew he wasn't getting my PS5.
Right. Yeah, I suppose. Compromise.
Fair.
We don't live in the same place yet. So
my biggest regret, and I just recently wrote an editorial about this, is that how I got to a point where I was looking at I'm a collector. I collect video games, and I'm continually doing this now. So I'm continually going back and buying old retro games. You know, PlayStation 64, Super Nintendo. You know, that Nintendo's about as far as I go. I don't go further back than that. But, you know, I'm looking at my collection, I think maybe a week or two ago, and I was like, man, this is my regret. It's like I spent a lot of money on a lot of these games. Some of these games weren't cheap. You know, they're more expensive than the day they came out. And here I am buying them again just to say, wow, I have great memories of this game, and put it on a shelf, and that's it. So those are my regrets, is that I've wasted so much money buying old shit and putting it on a shelf, maybe playing it for a little bit and saying, wow, I remember this, and then that's it. So that's my regret. I wish I just held on to my money.
That's fair.
I mean, that's a worthy enough regret. I will say that.
Yeah. Because it's making me think now that I think I'm just gonna stop collecting. Like I'm just gonna like focus on new stuff as they come out, and just kind of keep at that. So,
that's honestly, I feel like that's what I said about the Sega Saturn. I think that's my biggest regret because I mean, like like I had no problems like letting my Dreamcast go. Like I actually gave it to a buddy who loved my Dreamcast more than I loved my Dreamcast, and I loved my Dreamcast. But like he was like every time he would come to my place, he was a old colleague of mine that worked at GameStop. He was a young kid. He would just sit there in awe, like all the Dreamcast games I had, like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Jet Set Radio, all that stuff, and he was just in awe of it and all that stuff. And in one of my moves, like I moved to a new place, and I was like, I'm tired of lugging a lot of this shit with me. So I was like, hey, like I know you will appreciate this. You want my Dreamcast and all my games? And he's like, are you kidding? He's like, are you playing with me right now? I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, if you want it, it's yours. It's already boxed up and everything. Just come grab it, and you're fine. And like I said, I did not miss it. Of course, I have emulators and stuff like that. So I didn't miss as much. Saturn emulator is hard though. A Saturn emulator is, oh my god.
Well, I have the Polymega. I have the Polymega system that can play Sega Saturn games, and they play awesome, actually.
Yeah, but you said I also have to give up my left testicle because that's how expensive it is.
Yeah, unless you want to order it on the website and have to wait for a few months. Like you can go on the website, but like I said, you're not going to get it right away.
Is it kind of like the Steam Deck where you can put $5 now and then they send you an email and say, "Hey, it's ready. It's ready. You need to pay now or you don't get it."
I think you actually have to pay for it like fully, right out the gate, because that's how I had to do it. When I pre-ordered it, I just paid for it right away.
Any other ones before we close out this segment?
Actually, speaking of that, Legend of Dragoon.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the most highly rated like RPGs on the PlayStation, and I never played it when it first came out.
Which is kind
of crazy for me. That actually that was the era where I started getting really into RPGs. Like I played Final Fantasy VII. I was like, wow, this is epic. I played like Vagrant Story and other RPGs, and for some reason Legend of Dragoon skipped that. I skipped that game. And everybody I've talked to over the last like couple years, when I said I never got to play that game, people were dumbfounded. They were like,
they look at you like you grew a second head.
Like, bro, are you even a gamer, bro? Like that was the best RPG of the system. And I said I know that now because I played it on the Polymega, and I'm like, for the first time, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Like even like being over 20 years old.
Yeah, dude. I owned the game twice back when the PS1 was a thing, and I managed to get myself an actual non-greatest hits copy of it recently, and still never played it, even though I have a PS1 that works just fine and stuff like that. But when I modded my Vita and started putting PS1 games on there, I played it and I was like, oh man, like why did I not give this game a chance?
Yeah, I mean it's an amazing game. So
like I was spending money on the game, and would trade it in because I wasn't playing it, and then buy it again, trade it in because I wasn't playing it, and buy it again, and stuff like that. That's a big regret I have. My big regret is I have a backlog of games. I think that's the biggest regret I have in gaming. Period. Like I have a giant ass backlog of games. I'm not sure when. I'm not sure if I can do it in this lifetime. If I were to stop buying games right now to hit my backlog, which we all know that's a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Come on, we got Dead Space remake and Callisto Protocol coming out. Like this is not the time to stop buying new games. This is not the time.
Just to backpack off that Dead Space remake looks intense.
And I can't wait to play it. I can't wait. I promised Stephanie that I would play the Dead Space trilogy and stream it for her before Dead Space comes out. Huh? Dead Space. Okay.
You've never played Dead Space?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I played Dead Space.
Oh, I was gonna say. Whew.
Yeah,
Dead Space,
I was gonna say
okay.
if you've never, then you have missed something.
Dead Space is what brought me back into playing survival horror games, because survival horror games got really stale in the few years before Dead Space came out.
Yep.
I mean, like survival horror games were, in my opinion, some real garbage. You know, by the time Dead Space came out, like, because what was the last? What was the last? I want to say the last survival horror game I tried to take seriously and play was either Fatal Frame 2, or it was Resident Evil 4. And I think it was Resident Evil 4, because Resident Evil 4 kind of also like hurt
Okay,
me.
let's
Like
Resident Evil 4.
You're gonna stop saying whatever it is you were gonna say, LeRon, and you're just gonna move on with this topic.
Resident Evil 4 is not a survival horror game; it's an action game. Say that right
Okay, there's that, but if you Wikipedia Resident Evil 4, it says survival horror.
It is, but then you play it and you're like basically like action story.
Well, yeah.
I can see how it is, but
survival action horror.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was saying though is like Dead Space actually brought me back into consideration of playing survival horror games, and you know, like I pick and choose the survival horror games I'm going to play, but trust me, like Dead Space was probably the best way to come back to that world.
Easily.
And I'm one of the few people out there that I say Dead Space 3 was not as bad of a game as everybody thinks it was.
No, I don't think so. I thought Dead Space 3 was really good.
Like, I feel like Dead Space 3 was just a natural progression of what should have been going on with the story anyway. I mean, you know, we've seen Hollywood movies. We know how it goes. The first movie is like this epic thing. The second movie tries to up the ante. The third movie tries to do something a little differently, but still stay within the boundaries of what's established and stuff like that. Dead Space was just doing his thing. Yeah, now there are a couple of things about Dead Space 3 that I can say, you know, we're like, okay, y'all should have missed us with that. But the fact that we had co-op, and if you did the co-op right, okay, in the perfect world with Dead Space 3, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to play the game once as Isaac, and you're supposed to play it again as Carver. Most people didn't do that though. Most people didn't do that because, you know, and you missed the entire story. And then when the Dead Space Awakened DLC came out for Dead Space 3, you're supposed to do it just like that. Play once with Isaac, play once with Carver. And people didn't get that. You know, it's like, dude, like.
Well, that was the crazy thing, because there was things you saw as Isaac that Carver didn't see.
And
then there was things that Carver saw that I remember when I was playing that co-op with a buddy of mine, it blew my mind.
Carver was having full on adventures by himself while you're just sitting there as Isaac, like.
Yeah, like you're witnessing something, and like you're saying, oh shit, what the hell is this? And like your co-op partner is like, I don't see what you're seeing. And then you're like, what? It's like right in front of me. Like, how could you not see this? No, I don't see it. Like that was crazy. Like that blew my mind.
Yeah, I thought that was wonderful narration. I thought it was, but you know, but what do I know? I just play video games and I have a podcast that talks about them.
You're not a gamer. You're not a true gamer.
Because I didn't play Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Because you don't think Majora's Mask is the best Zelda game of all time.
All right, gents. Any final thoughts here?
No.
Any more big regrets?
No, sir.
All right. Well, for you guys out there, like, hit us up at PS_Crossroads. Let us know what is one of your biggest gaming regrets out there. We'd love to hear from you about that, and have a future talking topic about it. You know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap the show up tonight. I think we've had a lot of fun here, fellas. I'm also trying to get Andre out of here on time because he has to go see Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Haven't heard anything about it, so I'm going in open-minded.
My roommate and his girlfriend saw it over the weekend, and they said it was great, and they didn't tell me jack shit about it, which is exactly how I wanted it.
It's good.
Movies, like 4 movies, except for the second one, were always good. So
wait. I had no problems with Thor: Dark World. I thought that the original Thor was trash. And Thor Dark World was you can only go up from there.
I didn't hate to. I just go along with the whole meme that it sucked. So
that's fair. I'm not gonna. I don't have anything to say on that.
but like so. What was I gonna say? Again, I haven't heard anything about it. One thing though that I have read the Gore the God Butcher comic book series. So I am going into the movie kind of with that in mind. So, but I'm gonna try and not be so like, oh my god, this isn't how the book goes. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, everyone, that's our show for tonight. As always, we'd like to give a big thanks to you all for tuning in and listening to Crossroads Podcast. And you know the deal. Before we head out, guys, go ahead and plug yourselves. Let people know where they can get in contact with you, or just see what you're all about. Andre, you go first now.
You can find me on YouTube at Andre Wilson. Right now it's just shorts, but I am in the works of trying to figure out how I can make a short film, that being like 5 to 10 minutes, about either friends of mine or just myself. I do photography a lot on my Instagram and Twitter. Andre _ Wilson, ANNDRE. Anyway, photography is more on Instagram. YouTube is more videography, which I'm slowly getting introduced to. So again, I'm trying to think of a kind of like take a Saturday and just vlog my whole day from the minute I get up, what I do, how I go about it, talk about myself, maybe go on like a hike with like no phone service. So it's like really just me and the camera, and just kind of connect with people, tell them about me. So again, Andre Wilson on YouTube. If you go there and you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. I try and upload every other day, so I posted one today. Won't be uploading until tomorrow, so on and so forth. Twitter is where I just go to keep up with like anime, Star Wars, maybe piss someone off by my opinion. Just try and fit in with the world. Instagram is photography. So if you are a photographer or just like photos, check me out there. Is that it? And you can find me here as well. The Crossroads. Other than that, that's all.
All right, cool. Stoy.
Well, for me, I'm on the EXP Cast. We're a video game podcast. We're on the Boss Rush Network. We record episodes. It's been spotty lately with summer because we've all just been busy. So usually we have episodes drop Mondays and Thursdays every week. We just talked with Celeste, part of the Boss Rush Network. She was on our show this last weekend. So we just had an episode drop yesterday. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at EXPcast, and then my personal Twitter is Stoy MKE8.
I actually saw a YouTube video for you guys. I think it was one that someone went to like a card store or a game store.
Yeah, we did a me and Josh on the podcast with a couple other buddies. We went to we did a video game hunting trip.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And we went to the limited run game store a week after it officially opened in North Carolina. So that was really cool. So we chronicled the journey. It was like a big whole game hunting trip that on our way down there, we were just kind of hitting up pawn shops, hitting up game stores, card stores, whatever, flea markets, just to kind of find some cool shit. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So that's on our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel as well.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
All right, and as always, you can catch me on social media at Exodus803. That's also my YouTube and Twitch handles, as well as my PlayStation Network and Steam ID. Do not forget, I am one of 3 hosts for the Boss Rush Podcast, which happens every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on BossRush.net's Twitter account. So make sure to check that out. Also, just a real quick shout out, because I forgot to mention this on our last show. But happy 300th episode to Nintendo Pow Block, part of our Boss Rush Network family, as well as Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast show, hitting episode 100. So
yeah, that was cool. I was there. Yeah, it was a cool moment to see as well. Like 300 episodes, that's insane. That is, to me, incredible feat, but like that's crazy to think. Like,
the fact that I stayed
that's a lot of episodes.
That's a lot of podcasts. Like, wow.
The fact that I stayed up all night, stayed up all evening, and listened to that 4-hour podcast as they were live. Jesus Christ, never again. Never again. Like
That is
I know
insane.
my threshold, my limit now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. Going on right now over at bossrush.net. Which video game has the most immersive world? That's the question that Josh Martinez wants to ask. So let us know your top pick when you go read the July 11th edition of the Boss Rush Banter. Also, Ed and Corey discussed the Sega Genesis, that 16-bit rival of the Super Nintendo that gave the big end a run for its money in the latest episode of Standard Definition Retro Nostalgia podcast. Also, lastly, he mentioned it earlier, and I gotta shout this out. Our boy Stoy shares the hows and whys that helped him realize that collecting retro video games was a waste of his money. Please go over there and check it out. Like it's a wonderful read. I not just because you're my boy, but I read your stuff all the time because you always have something just fresh and fun and controversial sometimes.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I got some pretty decent. It was a deep insight into like kind of like why we collect. And I remember like one of my cousins, I posted it on my Facebook, and one of my cousins from Germany, commented by saying, I have over 650 vinyl records in my collection. Boys love their toys. That's all he said. And I was like,
That sums it up.
yeah, that basically sums it up. I mean, my brother, he builds models of aircraft and military vehicles, and he keeps buying before he's even done
Before
with
he's
what he
finished,
has. Yeah. So he's always like sending me like, oh, I just bought this, I just bought that. I'm like, bro, you haven't even finished the aircraft you bought 2 years ago. Like,
oh jeez. Yeah. All right. So all that and more can be found over at bossrush.net. So head there and check out more editorials and shows from our ever-growing family of creators and contributors. We're also looking for more really cool gamers and nerds to hang out with us. So why not consider becoming part of the Boss Rush Network Discord, where there's even more Crossroads content to check out, if you're our fans, of course. As always, you can chat with us and keep the conversation going by hitting us up on Twitter at ps_crossroads to dish on more news, events, and topics while we were getting ready for the next installment. Hey everyone, this has been episode 87 of the Crossroads podcast. Come back and join us next week as we stay in our new home here at YouTube for another episode of Crossroads. If you like the show, please consider subscribing to the podcast, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for us. And for all you people out there who love our podcast, our audio versions of it, please share, rate, and review us wherever you check out any of the versions of our show. As a part of Boss Rush Games family, we want you all to have a great night. And of course, please remember to play games, be better, and just be you. All right, that's it for us tonight. Y'all have a good one. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.